So, folks, if you are just tuning in and you're a Trump supporter, join the guest request because we're going to have a conversation. Again, I see some people commenting that they supported Donald Trump. Okay, so join the guest request. Don't be a snowflake, right? Right? Don't be a keyboard warrior. Use your big boy and big girl voices and get into my guest requests. You know, if you voted for Kamala Harris, please do hit that like button, hit the share button, help us get to 20,000 likes. We are going to get started with our first guest in just a moment. Also, to everybody tuning in, if you haven't already, in my bio, if you go to my profile, my backup account is there. Please give that backup account a follow. Okay, we're going to get up our first guest. Again, if you did vote for Kamala Harris, keep hitting that like button, hit the share button. Voted for Donald Trump, join the guest request. And again, my backup account is in my bio. If you go to my profile page, please follow that backup account.
This guy's fixing to lose now.
Hello?
Hello?
Hi.
Hello? Yes, I voted for Trump.
Oh, why?
Because I feel safe for him running than Harris.
But why?
Why? Because she doesn't know what she's doing and how she could.
The way she walks and talks?
Yeah,
Ma'am, I know you ain't complaining about the way she's talking.
Yes, I have. When she told those two people that they're at the wrong rally because they believe
the same
in
way,
God.
you know, the same way I ain't gonna go around making fun of somebody else's beard. Same way you probably shouldn't go around making fun of the way somebody else talks. just the thought, you know.
Okay, but
Yeah.
I don't make fun of people.
Oh no, nobody's
does.
making fun of you.
It's just I feel safer with
Unless
Trump
it's behind
running
your
than
back.
her.
Anyway, so why?
Why? Because Trump is running this country the way it should be.
I want to, excuse you. Hello, excuse you. I would like to talk to you. I don't need to talk to your brother husband, right?
Right,
Your
right.
Uncle Daddy. We could tell him to get out of the
That's
conversation.
not my Uncle Daddy.
Brother husband or Uncle Daddy, which is
That's
it?
my boyfriend.
Oh, boyfriend, brother. Gotcha. So you haven't put a ring on your brother's finger yet.
No,
You
I
want me to
don't
fucking talk? I'll make you cry like a Democrat always does, bitch.
I don't.
You fucking want to talk shit?
I don't play your stupid games.
I'm
That's why I
fucking
don't fight.
That was so easy. First off, ma'am, maybe leave him. Just a thought. Like, hold on, excuse you. Maybe that's a walking red flag right there. And then second, that was the easiest I've ever triggered somebody. That took all of 5 seconds. That's crazy. All he had to do was say that he was your brother and your husband at the same time. Because let's be real, ma'am, you're talking like that for a reason, right? Uncle Daddy and Sister Mama got together and they gave birth to little old you. And I know that you probably like to keep it in the family, but you might want to try a different method here. Okay? All right. Anyway, do you have anything else to say? Maybe something coherent?
The Democrats, they're the one that likes the incest and like men
Ma'am,
with men and
respectfully,
women like.
okay, respectfully, ma'am, respectfully, you couldn't even pronounce the word right. Get your Uncle Daddy under control, okay? It's a little early in the morning to be drinking this much, don't you think? Put the cup down, try some water. It's delicious.
Why don't you try to get Kamala to do her job?
Ma'am, again, here's what we're gonna do. Let's do some pronunciation exercises real quick, okay?
Harris.
Repeat after me. A, B, C, D. Your turn.
Buck, you bitch.
No, yeah, see, you know what? The issue is that the way you just said that, the way you just said it, it's coming out like, duck you witch, because the pronunciation's not there, hon. Oh, she ran away. Oh no! Gosh, what will I ever do? Oh no! Oh my gosh! I'm so hurt. Wow, she left? Oh no! What a loss. Chat, I'm sure that we're all very upset she left. Anyway, folks, if you want to support me, my Venmo, PayPal are in my bio, or if you haven't already, head over to my bio. My backup account is there. Please give that backup account a follow. Thank you, thank you. Let's get up our next guest. I saw Dieva join, and Dieva was like, oh, this one's wild. She's going to annoy you. David, if you're still on, you can't troll a troll. If somebody wants to try, they can, but I'll always win. I think she was just jealous of my teeth because I have all of them. Hi, guest. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
I did, but
Okay, why?
before we one of the
Before
reasons
we get into that, can you just tell me why you voted for Donald Trump?
I mean, watching your
Cry more.
arrogance.
Listen, I get it. Listen. There's nothing you're going to say that I haven't already said to myself 6 feet from the mirror. Pay very
Okay, I'm
close
glad
attention.
you're saying that to yourself.
Right.
That means you
Listen
actually
very
might have
closely.
a
I am well
crack-open
aware
mind.
that I am too fierce for you, right? I am a fierce individual who is too good at slapping down you MAGA Republicans, and I get that. That makes you upset. Again, there's nothing that you can come up here and say. I mean, if you want to turn around and be like, Johnny, you're mean. No, I'm Italian. The mean one is the one running around saying that we should take transgender Americans out of the military. The mean one is the one running around saying women shouldn't have the right to choose. That's you, and that's projection. What I'm doing is just being myself. And if that makes you uncomfortable, get over it, right? So again, if you want to have a conversation, we can do that. If you want to come up here to cry, maybe find somewhere else to do it, because it's not here and you're only going to end up crying more. So tell me again, excuse you, why did you vote for the criminal sexual abuser and civil fraudster?
You know, I don't watch your channel, but I'm sure you've asked.
You're stuttering. Are you very shy? Is it okay? Get past the anxiety and pull yourself up by the bootstraps.
Did you say, do you want to have a conversation? Do you consider yourself a good conversation?
I asked you why you voted for Donald Trump, and you're asking me.
Conversational.
We're going to move on to our next guest. You can come back when you calm down. The fact that you're stuttering and your voice is shaking, I made you nervous, and that's okay. It's okay to be nervous. First dates are hard, right? Hi, guest. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
I did not. But I kind of want to have a conversation with you of like, why do
W's for not voting for Donald Trump, though. W's for voting for Kamala. Hi.
Hello.
Oh, your voice, it's a little quiet. Do you have earbuds in by chance?
Yeah, I do.
Would you mind taking them out? Sorry.
Is this any better?
Yeah, that is a little bit better. So did you vote for Donald Trump?
I absolutely did.
Okay, why so?
Well, I mean, out of the two options that there were right at the very end, he was just the better one. Yeah.
In what sense? I mean, when I look at it, what do I see? I see a prosecutor who was a district attorney, attorney general, senator, vice president who gave us packages like the infrastructure package, the Inflation Reduction Act, who fought for packages like the bipartisan border bill, a very policy that Donald Trump slapped down. And then on this side of the aisle under Donald Trump, what do you have? You have somebody who's a sexual abuser, civil fraudster, somebody who was found guilty on 34 felony counts of falsifying business records, checks, and statements. Somebody whose own vice president wouldn't endorse him, let alone run with him again, right? Somebody whose chief of staff said he was a fascist. His own chief of staff said he was a fascist. Somebody whose administration wouldn't endorse him. I mean, somebody who tried to overthrow the Constitution, defund the Department of Education, defund the law enforcement when it comes to the FBI. I think that if you were going for the lesser of two evils here, you probably would have voted for Kamala. But what do I know, right?
So, yeah, thank you for asking. Actually, before I get into the few reasons why I voted for him, I do have a question for you. I think the day before the election, I heard you saying you're a numbers guy. You're a numbers guy.
I love numbers. Numbers are phenomenal. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know me, hi, I'm Johnny. I'm the guy who programmed Donald Trump's website, the website he uses to track his debt as it increases with interest down to the cent. HuffPost covered this. I worked with a team of accountants and coders to accomplish the mission, and I'm the ringleader on that. So that's a lot of fun. It's great because if you don't know, Donald Trump owes about $488 million, give or take a couple million as of right now. But anyway, guest, the election has absolutely nothing to do with today. And the fact is the election's over. And so we need to move forward and recognize here that your candidate is putting forward a policy which involves numbers. So let's talk about those. And this incorporates a $4.9 trillion cut to Social Security through the income tax, corporate tax, and Social Security tax. The corporate tax alone adds $400 billion to Social Security, and he's looking to cut that. On top of that, the House Republican budget, which here's a number for you, 80% of House Republicans have endorsed this proposal, thus will be adopted in the new year and passed overwhelmingly by the House House Republican caucus, is also going to cut $1.5 trillion from Social Security. It's going to cut CHIP, Medicare, Medicaid. It's also going to cut the ACA. It's going to cut disability benefits and raise the retirement age to 69. Can you tell me, knowing, because I assume you know the numbers too, when you cut Social Security, something that, I mean, just countless elderly Americans rely on, when you cut it in its entirety, what are you going to do to ensure that those elderly Americans don't end up homeless?
That was a bit of a monologue. Thank you for
Not
asking.
really.
Now, when
It was
you
just a question.
when you release, or sorry, not release, when you trade,
When I,
Victor
excuse
Bout,
me? When I,
when you
excuse
trade-
me? When I, excuse me?
when
Keep
you
it family
trade-
friendly. If you're that interested in me, you could just ask me out, but
Wait,
you could
what?
do that on your own time, right? That was,
I said
right?
when you
Let's keep it family friendly.
Wait, what?
Nasty.
Okay, when you trade Victor Bout, the Russian arms dealer, most dangerous man in the
So
world.
this has nothing to
When
do with
you
what I just
trade
asked. And while I
Victor Bout-
appreciate the pivot, listen very closely, and I'm going to ask you again. You ignored everything I just said, and that's not going to work for me. So let's try it again, okay? You're cutting $4.9 trillion out of taxes that were meant to fund Social Security, and then you're taking out what's left in the Social Security pot, thus being $1.5 trillion. In total, you're taking about $6-7 trillion. You wanted to replace it with tariffs, which, mind you, you only make $90 billion annually off of Donald Trump's tariff policy. So you would either have to A, hike up costs on produce, which Donald Trump's not going to do because he ran on cutting costs on produce. So realistically, you're just going to cut Social Security in accordance to this House Republican budget, which again, 80% of House Republicans have already endorsed. Your pivot there was kind of crazy. I mean, that was really crazy. Can we get some L pivot in the chat, please? Can you just respond after you leave elderly Americans, disabled Americans, even many veterans who didn't qualify through the VA, homeless? How are you going to ensure that, you know, they don't go homeless?
Listen. So here's the thing.
Here's the thing, you're gonna pivot again? Yeah?
Here's the thing.
Gonna pivot.
Those people that are on social whatever, they can figure that shit out. I don't give a
Oh, okay, so somebody who paid into Social Security for 50 years is now collecting it. You're saying that as you take it away from them, that they just gotta go figure it out. How are they gonna figure it out? Put yourself in their shoes. How are they gonna go figure it out?
How about this?
Don't stutter. Pick yourself up by
No,
the
I won't.
bootstraps. No, don't make a deal with me. Answer what I said. Go ahead.
I'll answer what you said.
No, we're not making a deal. We're not making a deal
Okay,
here.
well, that's not
Answer
gonna
to
work,
what I just
buddy.
said. Answer to what I just asked you. Go ahead.
Look, I don't care. Listen.
You just did the average MAGA Republican Party strategy. You just said that anybody collecting Social Security can go figure it out after you steal their money.
Listen,
Does that seem normal to you? Does that help you? Does that make your party look good? Does that help you? So for somebody who lives on their own Social Security, somebody who paid into it for 5 decades, you're telling them that they could go screw off, that you're taking their money and that they could deal with it? That's what you just said.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Is that like, does that seem normal to you? Because that seems borderline insane. Actually, no, that's just insane. Like, I would actually seek help if I were you. I would certainly recommend seeking help.
Okay.
What you just said there was god awful and evil. And yet the thing here is you MAGA Republicans are saying the quiet part out loud. You are more than accepting that you're about to leave elderly Americans homeless, but you ran, excuse you. No, Pookie. You just turned around and told elderly Americans that they can get wrecked effectively, right? And yet you ran a campaign on defending them, right? Even when folks like me, we knew very well that you were going to turn on them. The House Republican budget's out and you are turning on them. So can you tell us again, why are you more than happy to cut their Social Security and leave elderly Americans homeless, disabled Americans homeless, veterans homeless? I thought that, at one point you MAGA Republicans said you wanted to fight for older Americans. Now you just turned your back on them completely. And you're more than happy to. You just said that they could get wrecked. So why are you throwing them under the bus?
First of all, I've been paying into this for.
Why are you throwing them under the bus?
Why
are you throwing older Americans under the bus?
I'm not throwing them under the bus.
You just said you were.
They're old. They're done. They're cooked. They've already cooked your country. Look at us. We're led by fucking geriatrics, okay? Yeah. Okay, now answer me this. How is it okay that we're allowing men in women's sports? How is that okay? How is it okay that we would trade Victor Bout, the most dangerous Russian arms
Hold on,
dealer,
hold on.
a
Can you
wealthy
repeat what
NBA
you
player,
said? Excuse
in
you. Can
Brittany
you
Griner?
repeat what you said? Can you repeat what you said about you voted for Donald Trump, and what did you just say about elderly Americans?
Good luck to them. Good luck.
That's
to
not
them.
what you said. What did you say? Go ahead. When I said, what are you going to do to elderly Americans? You said what exactly? Go on.
Good luck to them.
Why are you stuttering now? Why are you stuttering now? What happened? Say it again. Go ahead.
What did I mean?
Do you know what's crazy?
They're gonna have to work.
This phone is actually, it's not even a real phone. That's a fake phone. This is recorded on this phone, and what you just said was on tape. I can't wait to post that later. Did I forget to mention that this is filmed? Silly me. Silly me. This is filmed. This was filmed. Did you forget? Did you forget what you just said? Silly goose? Goodness gracious.
I guess I'll have to.
TikTok tells you this is recorded too, so you're well aware that this is recorded. That's crazy. So what you just said about elderly Americans, what you just said as a Trump supporter about elderly Americans, that's gonna hurt your party. And I'm excited to share it. Wow. So anyway, let's talk about veterans as well, right? For disabled veterans who don't qualify through the VA due to that disability, they qualify for disability benefits and Social Security. You're cutting their disability benefits and Social Security in accordance to this House Republican budget that cuts the trifecta of taxes that pay into that pot, and then you're also cutting the pot. So you're leaving nothing for disabled veterans. So how are you going to ensure that those disabled veterans don't go homeless, right?
So when you upload that part to me,
excuse you, how are you going to ensure that disabled veterans don't go homeless?
Probably
Patrick, thank you so much for the $20 on Cash App. I appreciate it. Thank you, Patrick. So can you just respond? Hurry up.
Yeah, we'll make sure they don't.
Can you just respond? Hurry up.
I was trying to.
Yeah, whenever you're ready. Hurry up.
Yeah, well, okay.
Can you hurry up?
We'll make sure that they don't go homeless by maybe never pulling out of Afghanistan the way we did ever.
Does that make
sense? Wait,
hold on. What did you just say? You said by not pulling out of Afghanistan, you're going to ensure that they don't go homeless. So again, disabled veterans, right, who rely on Social Security and disability, which is something you're going to cut in accordance to the House Republican budget. How are you going to ensure that they don't go homeless after you take their economic lifeline? Can you respond to that? I mean, what you just said was totally unrelated and made zero sense. The pivot was crazy. Can you just respond?
Because you're worried about homeless veterans?
I am worried about homeless veterans, yes. Are you not? Are you not worried about homeless veterans?
Of course, absolutely. I think
okay, so then why did you just say I'm shocked? You just said you're homeless about homeless veterans. You're worried about homeless veterans. I mean, that's not normal to say that, right? Everybody should be worried about homeless veterans. Like, are you not worried about your veterans? Like, all the time? Dude, I'm worried about veterans all the time. Like, all the time. Maybe that's just me as a rural American, but you just said that you're going to remove the economic lifeline that supports veterans. Let's say they're disabled and they don't qualify through the VA. They then do qualify for, disability benefits, and your MAGA Republican Party is looking to cut those benefits. How are you going to ensure that they don't go homeless?
No, I think they'll be okay. I do.
How are they going to be okay? They won't have money.
You ensure that
they won't have money to put food on the table. How are they going to be okay? How are they going to be okay?
That everybody that is a
how are veterans that how are veterans that rely on disability benefits for their economic lifeline going to be okay after you take that money? You know that they won't be able to put food on the table. So what's your plan? They're going to be okay? Them being forced to go to a soup kitchen is not okay.
I'm not gonna lie, right? That's the problem. I have a question.
You're saying you're not gonna lie? No, you're not gonna ask a question until you respond. You're not gonna ask a question until you respond to what you just said. You just said to elderly Americans that, they can get wrecked, right? And then veterans, you said, well, they can go figure it out. That's not normal behavior. That's not normal, right? So can you tell me again exactly, what is your plan
Donald Trump supports
to
veterans. Donald Trump supports
clearly not. Again, the House Republican budget cuts disability benefits, which countless veterans rely on, right? So that's not caring for veterans. My question to you is, and do you think Donald Trump cares about veterans? We know he doesn't, clearly, right? We haven't even got to talk about how he, exploited the graves of soldiers for personal profit. We have got to talk about how he dodged the draft numerous times. No. We're just going to go by the numbers. The numbers in the House Republican caucus budget, their proposal, which will be adopted in the new year, makes very clear they don't care about veterans, right? So tell me again, when you cut the disability benefits of veterans, something that they use to ensure that they can put food on the table, what's your plan to ensure they don't go homeless?
So no, they won't go homeless.
Pivot. They will go homeless. So okay, how are they going to be fine? How are they going to be fine?
They're going to be fine because men and women's sports, that's something that just
the pivot's crazy. The pivot's so crazy. You go, they're going to be fine because men and women's sports. What was that pivot? Oh my gosh. Okay, so apparently I broke you. Oh my gosh, I feel like it's Hanukkah morning, Christmas morning, and I just got a new toy, and I just honestly, this is you, I'm me, and this is like you, right? You just...
Do you think at any point...
What happened?
Do you think at any point...
Okay, so let me ask you again. After you take the economic lifeline of disabled veterans, how are you going to ensure that they don't go homeless? This time, stay on topic. Good luck.
I don't think they're going to go homeless.
And then when I asked you, why do you think they're not going to go homeless? You said men and women's sports. Those were the first words that came out of your mouth. Well, so help me understand again. Help me understand again. How are you going to ensure that they don't go homeless? What's your plan to ensure they don't go homeless?
I personally am not going to do shit.
I can tell you voted away their rights and you voted away their wallets, and now you're telling them to go fend for themselves. But what else is new? That's what you MAGA Republicans always do. Here's another issue for you, right? Okay, you ready? Are you ready? Are you listening? Do I have your attention? Do I have your attention? I have your attention. Do I have your attention? Do I have your attention?
Hardly.
I know Dory. Listen, it's giving Finding Dory, right? It's like you got have that attention span, but we're just gonna have to work with it. So when you look not only at this economic plan, you are also cutting CHIP. Do you know what CHIP is? It's not the Chips and Science Act. Do you know what CHIP is?
The health children insurance policy. See, I'm not.
So the children's health insurance program.
Okay,
so,
all right,
but here's the issue. Ready? You voted to cut that, and yet that cuts sick children's health insurance by $4.5 trillion over 10 years. So what's your message? What's your message? What's your message to the little boy or little girl who has cancer, who won't have access to healthcare anymore because of you? What's your message to them?
That's dangerous rhetoric, just like the same.
That's not dangerous. It's in the House Republican budget. It's in this is the House Republican budget. Republican, not Democrat. This is the House Republican budget. To that little kid who's sick, what is your message to them? You're cutting their health insurance by $4.5 trillion. So what's your message to them?
So we have a Republican House, Senate, and President. Right? Whereas in when Trump was last president.
Do you want to respond to what I just said? What's your message to the little kid that relies on CHIP, the Children's Health Insurance Program, which you just cut by $4.5 trillion?
Yeah, so when something goes down, something else goes up, inevitably, right? It's kind of like ebb and flow, right? The way in life kind of things balance out. I don't know. You may not believe me, but CHIP may go away, but then dip flip comes, and then hip crit, ship tip. You know what I'm saying? Something else will come out of this.
No, because the House Republican caucus isn't replacing CHIP with anything. So the House Republican caucus isn't replacing the Children's Health Insurance Program with anything. They're just cutting it by $4.5 trillion. And your message was, well, hey, maybe something else will come about and save the children. For a party that was talking a lot about saving the children, you stripped away their health insurance by $4.5 trillion. It's kind of crazy, don't you think? So I have another question for you. And I'm sure you're not going to be able to answer. I can't wait. You're going to pivot.
That's the
Ready?
thing.
I bet you pivot. I bet you pivot. I bet you pivot. Are you ready? Are you ready? This is going to be so good, everybody. Chat, do you think he's A, going to pivot, or B, cry and start insulting? What do you think? A, pivot, or B, start crying and like insulting because his intelligence is just not there, right? So here's my question for you. Are you ready? Okay. So in Florida, SB 1718 was signed, and this was a mass deportation policy that kicked out 40% of agricultural workforce farmers like from Florida, right? So they lost 40% of farmers. This also led to a $13 billion gap in Ron DeSantis' GDP. Last month alone, 1 month, $13 billion gap in its GDP and a 40% cut in, farmers. Turns out 40% of farmers in Florida are undocumented migrants. I knew that, but apparently DeSantis didn't. So Democrats gave him the Farm Workforce Modernization Act that would have provided a pathway to citizenship for these farmers that were undocumented migrants, but DeSantis blocked it because turns out, even though you MAGA Republicans on the campaign trail kept saying, listen, we just want them here legally. Turns out you don't want them here at all, legally or illegally. And so you kick them out. You lost $13 billion. You have a manufacturing crisis, a produce crisis. Costs on groceries are going up in Florida now, and 40% of farmers are gone. This is the exact policy that Donald Trump wants to implement nationally. We know from the Federal Reserve that this is going to lead to a $300 to $450 billion gap in our GDP in 1 year alone nationally, and a 40% cut in the agricultural workforce. How are you going to ensure that farmers don't go bankrupt as they lose 40% of their employees? And how are you going to ensure that your GDP doesn't collapse as you lose well over, $450 billion in 1 month alone? How are you going to ensure that there's not an economic collapse? And how are you going to ensure that, farmers don't go bankrupt? Good luck.
All right, buddy. That was long-winded.
Not really. It was pretty simple. The chat followed. Why couldn't you?
You do ask a lot of questions, but it's
not really. It was just 2 questions. Is 2 a lot? 2 is a lot? 2 is a lot?
Yeah,
I don't think 2 is a lot. Can you just answer the question? Go ahead.
Why did it take you? I will.
Go
Why
ahead.
did it take you 4 minutes to
Answer the question?
2 questions.
Whenever you're ready, if you just want to answer. Nice pivot. I get the pivot. It doesn't work. And whenever you're ready, if you just want to answer. So 40% of farmers, you don't know what you're going to do about it. That's why you're not answering. 40% of farmers are going to get deported. No American wants to do that job. Farmers are generational, right? Nobody wakes up one day out of bed and says, you know what? I want to do labor intensive and underpaid work in the agriculture industry. Nobody does that, which is why undocumented migrants do that work. You're looking to deport them, and that's going to cut out $300 to $450 billion out of your GDP in 1 month alone. Nationally in Florida, it's already cut $13 billion because they already implemented this policy, SB 1718. So tell me again, what are you going to do to ensure that there's not an economic collapse? And what are you going to do to ensure that farmers don't go bankrupt? Good luck.
There's not going to be an economic collapse.
There is in Florida right now.
There's going to be an economic boom under president, just like there was.
How? I just explained. How are you going to ensure that farmers don't go bankrupt?
What?
How are you going to ensure that farmers don't go bankrupt? I just explained to you what you're looking to do. Florida's already done it, and farmers are going bankrupt, right?
Okay.
So
and how?
It's going to boom, all right. It's going to explode and crash. Yeah, I agree.
You'll see.
Just like Trump Airlines, right? It's,
buddy,
that business came crashing down, literally, not figuratively.
Sure
so tell me again, 40% of farmers, how are you going to ensure after you deport 40% of farmers that the generational farmers don't go bankrupt?
Why does your chat keep saying insult in 1, 2, 3? I'm not gonna.
Can you just respond?
That's just kind of.
Can you just respond?
My guy.
Respond. Hello.
My guy.
Come on, respond.
That's the problem.
Can you respond to the question?
You don't respond to
I bet you don't respond to the question. I bet you don't respond because you do not know a single thing as it comes and goes. You're not that smart. You're not a smart guy. And if I take a bet, I bet your mom and dad are related. Anyway, so tell me again. Can you tell me again? Can you tell me again? Listen, I even sang a song for you. I just need you to tell me. I just need you to tell me. What are you going to do to ensure that farmers don't go bankrupt after you deport 40% of their employees? Go ahead.
Farmers don't.
Whenever you're ready.
After we deport 40%?
Sure they will. They're already going bankrupt in Florida. Again, you're saying that this is a hypothetical for me. However, let's recognize it's not, because again, you're already doing this in Florida. So it's not a hypothetical. Your GDP dropped $13 billion in 1 month alone in Florida. Farmers are going bankrupt and they have a workforce development crisis. You want to do this nationally. So I'm telling you, how are you going to ensure your economy doesn't collapse and your farmers don't go out of business? You're not responding, though. I get it. You can't respond.
Well, it's hard to get a three.
Can you hurry up? I hear that you're stuttering and that your voice is shaking. Pick yourself up by the bootstraps.
It's hilarious because you talk for 4 minutes at a time.
Can you just hurry up and respond? Can you just hurry up and respond? I don't need the Disney Channel movie saga. Like the coming of age, really, you got to stop it. Let's just. I get it. You're discovering yourself. That's fine. You do you, boo, but don't do it here. Can you just respond? Can you just respond to what I said?
How many people have been deported so far? How many farmers have been deported?
Okay, so 40% of farmers in Florida deported. Yes, because they already did SB 1718.
Do you believe that?
Excuse me, I have sources. Do you want NPR? Do you want the USDA? Right? I have the sources right in front of me. So again, 40%. You're not listening. Listen very closely. Listen, Pookie. 40%, right? Again, you're in the find out stage. You can't just turn around and say I'm lying. I have the sources. USDA and NPR. Also, NBC News reported on this. Excuse you. So there's a labor shortage, and I need you to tell me, how are you going to ensure it doesn't lead to a national economic collapse of $300 to $450 billion? And how are you going to ensure that farmers don't go bankrupt? It's already happening in Florida, so it's not a hypothetical, right? So tell me again. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just confused because...
Oh, you're not going to respond. You're going to pivot. Chat, do we think he's A, going to pivot? Or B, is he going to answer? Do we think A, he's going to pivot and not answer? Or B, do we think he's going to answer what he said? Let's find out, chat. Let's get a little drum roll. And answer A is top answer. Everybody believes you're going to pivot and run. Let's find out. Do you want to answer to what I said?
Yeah, so it's just hard to believe anything that comes out of the numbers.
And he pivoted! Look at that! He chose answer B! Pivot! He chose pivot! Let's go, everybody! A, he chose letter A! Pivot! If you picked letter B, right, which was answer, you were wrong! Yay! He chose pivot! Wow!
Johnny,
anyway,
it looks like you're not going to be answering.
Anyway, so you're not going to answer a single thing I've asked you. Your answer when I explained to you. Listen, Pookie. No, your answers were redundant. Your answer to how are you going to ensure that elderly Americans don't go homeless after you cut their Social Security, and I gave you the percentages of which you would. In accordance to the House Republican budget that was put forth last week, you said that they can figure it out. That's not an answer, right? When I asked you, how are you going to ensure that veterans don't go homeless when you cut their disability benefits by, the digit I gave you, and when children go without health insurance by $4.5 trillion, your answer to them was they can get wrecked. That's not an answer, right? That's not an answer. When I asked you about farmers and I explained the 40% cut in the agricultural workforce, and when I asked you about the $15 trillion GDP gap just in Florida alone, you said, I don't believe it. When I gave you sources for it, that's not an answer. You're not answering. You're just saying that everybody can get wrecked. Well, guest, I hope you get everything you voted for, right? I hope you get everything you voted for and more. You sound relatively older. So you voted against your own interests. I mean, guest, unmute. Did you ever hope to collect, Social Security did you want to collect Social Security in a couple years?
I'm 31, but
you're 31 and you sound like that?
Yeah. What do I sound like?
Okay, I ain't gonna lie. You know what? You might have been justified to vote for Trump, because clearly, if that's how you sounded and you just said you're 31, then clearly something went wrong, right? No, so clearly something went wrong. If that's how you sound at the age of 31, I don't judge you. You know what? You're probably right to vote for Trump. Clearly something needed to change in your life. If it was that, you do you. Clearly you gotta figure something out. I don't judge you anymore. You might have been justified. I mean, that's insane. Oh my gosh.
What's your stance on DEI?
Well, that's easy. Donald Trump is a DEI president. I mean, you understand that, right? What is DEI? Tell me.
I believe it stands for the Department of Equity and Inclusion.
The Department
Equality?
of Equity and Inclusion. That's what you just said. That's what DEI stands for.
Is that wrong?
Yeah.
Okay. How close was I?
Not close at all. What? Oh my gosh, I can't. You guys make this
Okay,
so
all right.
easy for
So
me.
instead of-
Stop, hold
Alright,
on. You
guys.
make it so easy for me. Okay, so first off, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Now, mind you,
Okay.
Donald
So
Trump,
because-
by
because
definition,
it's
excuse you,
important
Donald Trump, by
instead of diversity.
definition, is a DEI candidate. So look at the Electoral College in 2016. Hillary Clinton won the popular vote. Now, Donald Trump was put into office because of an electoral college system, which gives a voice to the minority, even in which they don't win, and then they represent the majority. So you have Donald Trump, who is a DEI candidate. We also see this in states across the nation. Look at Wyoming. Wyoming has 2 senators. California has 2 senators.
Okay,
But California has like 100 times the population of Wyoming, and yet they have equal representation. So Wyoming is a DEI state. So Trump is a DEI hire, and Wyoming is a DEI state. For Republicans who seem to talk a lot of, smack about DEI, you guys are the DEI candidates yourself. I mean, you're the actual DEI candidates. Like, again, everybody understand? I want you to respond to this. Do you understand that the Electoral College that put Donald Trump into the presidency as the minority candidate who lost the majority vote makes him a DEI hire by definition? You understand?
This is obvious.
Okay, so then you asked me where I stand on DEI hires. Well, let's see. It gave you Donald Trump. So clearly, I'm not going to support that nonsense. So now I have a question for you, and I answered yours. You're so welcome. So tell me again, 40% of farmers, right? Let's get back on track. 40% of farmers, excuse you. I know you tried to pivot, and I answered your question. You're so welcome. I'm not even going to charge you for it. You're so welcome. 40% of farmers, you're looking to cut from the agricultural workforce, and you are looking to cut our GDP nationally by, $450 billion. Can you tell me how you're going to ensure that farmers don't go bankrupt? Whenever you're ready, if you want to respond to the question I've been asking you for 10 minutes, go ahead.
Okay, the way you just conflated.
No, I ain't conflate anything. You pivoted. I answered your question. Now I need you to turn around and answer mine whenever you're ready. If you could just turn around and answer my question, that'd be fantastic. Whenever you're ready. I need you to answer my question. So I answered your question. I answered your question, and you're welcome. I answered your question, and you're so welcome. I'm not even going to charge you for it. W's in the chat, right? W's in the chat. I'm not even going to charge you for it. So again, what I need you to do, you asked me how I felt about DEI hires, and I told you I don't support Donald Trump, and he is a DEI hire. So, that's how I feel. And I explained the process, and you agreed he is a DEI hire. And I'm glad you agree that he's a DEI hire. Now, that was your pivot, right? You pivoted from my question about agriculture, and the chat said you were going to pivot. You said, no, I'm not. But then you did pivot. And I answered your question because I'm just that polite. I need you to answer my question now. When you cut 40% of farmers out of the agricultural industry, and that's going to lead to a GDP gap of $300 to $450 billion in 1 year. In Florida alone, they're already doing it, and they lost $13 billion in 1 month alone. Technically $12.6 billion, but give or take. Can you tell me again, though, how are you going to ensure that farmers don't go bankrupt?
They won't.
How?
They simply will not.
How?
How can you? Okay, so the problem I have with you.
How? The problem I have with you. Insult incoming in 3, 2, 1. Everybody, let's get some insults incoming in 3, 2, 1 in the chat. Listen, I need you to answer the question. Can you just answer the question whenever you're ready? Don't pivot. Just answer the question. Answer the question.
I am.
Your voice is cracking. It's okay. Pick yourself up by the bootstraps. That doesn't make any sense. Americans don't want those jobs, but it's not happening in Florida. You're saying that those jobs will be filled in, but in Florida they're not.
Do you
In
want
Florida,
radish?
they're already doing mass deportation. They've lost 40% of farmers. And guess what? Americans aren't taking the jobs. So you're saying, well, Americans will just take the jobs. They're not, right? Molly, thank you so much for the $5 on PayPal. And also, Josh, thank you so much for the $20 on Cash App. I appreciate the love. So can you just respond? Cynthia, thank you so much for the $15 on Venmo. Cynthia says she hates you.
Oh, Cynthia.
So W Cynthia's in the chat. Thank you so much, Cynthia. Anyway, so whenever you're ready.
Yeah. What happens when anyone in any job is fired, retires, or dies? What happens?
People replace those employees. But for farmers, farmers aren't the case. Farmers are generational. It's different. You, for example, work your 9-to-5 office job and somebody else will come in and take that job because it's easier labor. But underpaid and labor intensive work in agriculture is not something you're going to pick up. Are you a farmer?
I'm not. No, are you?
Right. Neither am I. Neither are the people in this chat. Maybe one or two are, but I bet you that their family members are also farmers, as is their probably great-grandfather, because farmers today are generational. They are folks who inherited large plots of land and thus are generational farmers. Now, farmers who come here from other countries do that work because Americans don't want to do it. So they do it for us. They're undocumented migrants. Right? So, like, for example,
So it doesn't seem like you believe anyone's going to fill up in those jobs, which is...
They're not in Florida. It's not, I don't have to believe anything. Do you understand that in Florida, they already booted out 40% of farmers who are undocumented migrants, and Florida residents, like the retired Florida residents, are not taking the jobs. That's the issue. You understand?
No more oranges for you. Okay, now...
Florida doesn't only produce oranges. That might have been that might have actually have been the most ignorant thing you have said this entire life, and you've said a lot of ignorant stuff. But that was a really bad one. Yeah, no more oranges for you. That's not even Florida's main export. What was that? You're so bad at this. Gene, thank you so much. Gene, thank you so much for the $5 on Cash App. And Ileva? Oh, Isaac, thank you so much for the $5 on PayPal. I appreciate the love. Thank you so much. So, guest, help me better understand this again. In Florida, you're saying, well, Johnny, they're just going to come take the jobs when we mass deport the agricultural farmers nationally. Yeah, you'll have 40% less farmers. Americans don't want to do the job. And that's not a hypothetical. In Florida, nobody's taking that job. So can you tell me again, how are you going to ensure farmers don't go bankrupt? You're saying somebody's going to take the job. They're not in Florida, so it's not a hypothetical. They're not doing the job, right? Americans don't want the job.
I'm not sure how you can so confidently say that nobody's going to take that job.
Because they're not in Florida. Because they're not in Florida?
What?
NBC, NPR, the USDA, they've already covered this. Right, and those in Florida are not taking the jobs, right? They don't want the job, so they're not applying. You understand?
As of what? So 30 days?
This has been going on for months. Not a single person has stepped forward to take the job, right? Because fun fact, excuse you, question for you. What are you going to do? I mean, this probably isn't out of touch with what you MAGA Republicans stand for. Are you going to take the retired Floridians and say, you know what, they're retired, we cut their Social Security, we cut their disability benefits. There was a disabled veteran who retired in Florida at his beach house. Let's just force him to go work on the farm. Like, is that your plan? You're like, let's two birds, one stone, right? Let's just take the disabled veteran that we stripped the disability benefits and Social Security benefits of, and just take him and force him to be a farmer. Is that what you're going to say?
I mean, that's come on now.
That seems like that's your plan here. If I'm wrong, then correct me. What's your actual plan?
My plan is for the young people, 20s, 30s, 40s that want to.
They're not taking the jobs to be. They're not. The young people are not going to become farmers. You think the young people are going to become farmers? Okay. Okay. That's a concept of a plan if I've ever heard one. Wow. Young people. Oh, yes, the young people are going to become the farmers. There's so many issues with that concept. I don't even know where to start.
I think an issue that I have.
That's delusional. Like, that's a different kind. Chat. He says that the young people are going to become the farmers. Okay, I can assure you, we're not becoming the farmers. No. No. You won't even forgive our student debt. You think we're becoming your farmers? Oh, yes. Because again, I wake up in the morning and I strive for that underpaid and labor intensive work.
All right, Johnny. Well, hey, I'll tell you what, man.
Oh, are you going to run? Are you running away? Should I get the cowbell? Are you running away? Should I get the cowbell?
Donald Trump is going to make the
Sorry, wait, are you running away? Were you going to run away? Were you running
Probably,
away?
but
Okay.
I'm not. I wouldn't
We got a runner! Yeah! Let's get some cow emojis in the chat. We got a runner, everybody. Yeah! I love the subscribers who are using the new cow stickers. If you subscribe to the channel, I think you need the highest subscription, but there's the MT's got it. The cow emoji, I love it. Yeah! He ran away. We got a runner. Yeah! Okay. That's insane. Oh my gosh, I can't. Oh my gosh.
Hey,
Oh my gosh.
I didn't.
Hi.
I'm so sorry. Please
No,
don't
you're
kick me.
good. You're good. I got you. You're good. You're good. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Robin, thank you so much for the $5 on PayPal. That is beyond kind. Thank you so much to everybody who's supporting me on Venmo, PayPal, Cash App. Christine as well, thank you for the $5. And Justin, thank you for the $5. That is beyond kind. Folks, if you are supporting me on PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, please, write your username on that so that I can follow you, I want to be able to follow you for supporting me. Like, those are your hard-earned dollars. Let me follow you after the live. I appreciate it. Let's get up our next guest. Let's get up our next guest. Folks, if you did vote for Donald Trump, join the guest request and let's have a conversation. Don't be shy. Somebody said I have an evil laugh. Is my laugh evil? Whoops. That's funny. That's funny. That's funny right there. Again, folks, if you did vote for Donald Trump, join the guest request and let's have a conversation about it. Hi, did you vote for Donald Trump?
Right.
Okay.
Hello?
I have to tuck it under the mattress.
Oh, it's you, babe. It's you.
Hello?
Hello?
Sorry about that, Johnny.
You're good.
I have a big question for you, and it's pertaining kind of to the guest that was up before.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that they're going to be cutting Medicare.
Mm-hmm.
What my understanding is Medicaid also a part of that?
Okay, yeah. So this House Republican budget is going to cut programs across the board. However, if you're nervous about this or if this provides you with any fear, just know that Democrats are going to be tying this up in the courts for well into 3 years. The only thing to focus on right now is ensuring that in 2 years we take back the House and Senate, or at least one of those two chambers, right? And it's a very slim majority that they have in both chambers, so it's realistic that we can take them back. We can hold off this, cut to these programs for a few years, like 3 years. We can't for 4 years. So we really got to win back something in the midterms. But so don't have any fear right now. Don't have fear until year 3. If all chambers are still red on year 3 of this administration, then let's fear. But until then, we'll just keep fighting forward and we'll hold it up in the courts.
I definitely appreciate you. Me and my husband love you, Johnny.
We love you, Johnny.
I
we watch
appreciate
you every
it.
day. The reason why I was asking is because I take insulin every day, and it's kind of hard to kind of go through a lot of things, especially trying to fight against a narcissist terrorist like Donald Trump.
Yeah, I'll tell you now, like I said, we are going to tie this up in the courts and we're going to ensure that you have the help you need. Whether it's, I know for a fact, right, they want to repeal the cap on insulin. I can tell you exactly right now what chambers in the circuit courts this is going to go through to ensure you continue receiving affordable insulin. And just know, again, like, no reason to be emotional on this right now. Year 3 comes around. If it's still red chambers, then I'll be crying with you. But until then, have some hope. Know that we got you. And we have a plan to take back one of the chambers to ensure that we put forward a plan that further benefits you, and know that they're trying to restrict access to these programs and insulin and whatnot, but we still got the courts. We have the courts. President Biden has done a phenomenal job, filling in those judicial slots, Elizabeth Warren as well. And so we're going to tie this up in the courts. We're going to make it really hard for them to take something from you. Don't worry. We got you.
Thank you, Johnny. I have my sister and my husband here, and we watch you every day. We love you, Johnny for Congressman.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming up.
Have a
Okay.
good day, Johnny.
If you have any other questions, know that my messages are open, here to answer anything you need. Okay. I just followed you
Thank
as well.
you so
Feel free to
much.
message me anytime. Thank you.
Thank you, Johnny.
Johnny for Congress. All right, guys, I'm announcing my campaign. Let's go. I'm announcing my campaign for Congress. I don't think Marjorie Taylor Greene would be ready for that. If y'all thought that Jasmine Crockett held that woman accountable, y'all just wait. Josh, hi. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
No, man, but I just got to say I love you so much. I'm up from Alaska. I watch it pretty
You're
regularly.
from
And
Alaska?
also, dude, yeah, I am. Your tattoo
dope.
is so sick. I don't know
thank
if
you,
anyone
man.
tells you that enough, but
Thank
it
you, man.
resonates with me, obviously.
I appreciate
so,
it. Yeah,
Super bummed about our
I'm
local elections up here as well. Really bummed about
How did,
Mary might not make it, but
Oh, Mary didn't make it.
yeah, probably not.
Gotcha.
We do ranked choice voting, at least this year. It looks like that's probably out the window also, unfortunately, which is super bummed about. But it was really close, like down to 1,000 votes.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta imagine that she'll be back in 2 years. Like, she's
sure
very
that's so,
popular over there. I think that it was just the
not it.
temperature of what happened during that election. It wasn't gonna help her. I think in 2 years from now, once people recognize like what Donald Trump is about to do and how that hurts voters, I think that I'm sure she'll be back in 2 years. But anyhow, Josh, thank you so much for coming up. It was great talking to you, man. And I appreciate it. Yeah, I love my tattoos. We have, I'm from the woods. And so we got a buck. For those of y'all who don't know, a buck is basically just a grown ass man deer. You got a baby bear tracking through the water. You got the woods going up, a mama bear. What else we got? Oh, we were supposed to have an eagle going down this way, but I saved the eagle because I want to get my other sleeve done. And so we're going to get the eagle, I think, back here, maybe here, and then build out the next sleeve. That's going to be, I made a deal with my ma, right? I made a deal with her, and I said, I'll save this arm until I'm like 30, right? So we got well over 6-7 years like until I'm 30. So we got time. We got time. Hi, guest. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
Hell no. I have a
Nice.
question though.
What you got?
I'm a student who's getting their master's in social work.
Okay.
Considering what they are trying to do with the Department of Education, I'm actually kind of worried to go back to the Midwest as an LGBT youth member to be closer to my family. But I'm also not sure if it's financially possible or even ideal now for me to get my doctoral in social welfare in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So do you kind of have an idea of if they're really going to mess with FAFSA? Because I don't know what to do now with my education, whether I should continue it or just be a licensed clinical social worker.
I'll be honest. I mean, I got to imagine, take a moment and look up the House Republican budget. They put it forth in March. They reintroduced it last week. I didn't read into FAFSA on it, what they were looking to do, whether cut or if they were going to touch it at all. I didn't see anything about it. So that's a good sign. I could be wrong though. So I would look up that budget and just take a moment, skim through it, do like Control F on your keyboard, check if they put something in there about it. If there's nothing in it, then you're fine.
Okay, so I want to do politics, but yeah, going and moving to Wisconsin, a red state, being, LGBT, I feel like if I try to do politics there, it'd be really hard to get my voice out there and heard.
Yeah.
So I live in California now, and I'm safe, but I'm so far away from family, and I've been out here for 10 years. It's just like, I feel like I'm choosing between my safety and staying here or going and being near my family, and it's a really hard choice.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Listen, you got to do what's right for you, do what's best for you, and only you are going to know that decision, right? Yeah. Everybody comes from different predicaments, but I do hope that whatever you pick, that it works out for you.
Thank you. I watch you every day. I love your show. I've been on here like twice now, and yeah, you're amazing.
Oh, thank you for coming up.
Into politics, to be honest.
I hope you go run for something. You know, I mean, listen, again, if to anybody who's listening in, if you ever want to run for something, let me assure you, these next 4 years, remember in 2017, after Donald Trump won, that we won a Democratic seat in Alabama, right?
Yeah.
And then we flipped 2 seats in Arizona, 2 seats, Senate seats in Georgia. If y'all are going to run for something, these next 4 years, it's going to be the time to run for something.
Yeah. So my time as a social worker is now to really get into politics and make a voice. Okay.
Well, it was great meeting you. Thank you for coming up.
You're welcome. Bye.
Alrighty, folks, let's get up our next guest. Again, if you did vote for Donald Trump, join the guest request so that I can make fun of you. Talk to you so that I can talk to you. I said talk to you. I said talk to you. Hi, Willie. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
Fuck no, but I've been up here before. I was up here before the election, and I made a joke about Space Force is why I was going to vote for him. Which, come on, Space Force, what government thing can he really run? But no, my concern is I'm diabetic, I'm disabled, mostly blind, and I'm on dialysis at 43. So, you know, all these government things he's going to cut are really scary for me. But I listened to that last guy who wanted to, a little bit ago, who wanted to throw all the veterans to the wolves and soup kitchens. And, you know, I've actually worked in a soup kitchen. I've dealt out waffles in a homeless shelter.
Me too.
And I really feel that guy just pissed me off. In my current situation, it just really drove me nuts. But I watch you every day, and I would be honored if you would shoot me a follow.
Oh, yeah. I just followed you now. Listen, I'll tell you, just followed you. 2 things. So first being, you know, you are right to be concerned about this. It should be concerning. However, know that there's still a ton of hope because we are going to tie this up in the courts. This is something that we've been talking about behind the scenes. Well, actually, I'm not going to say too much. Just know that there are plans to ensure that you get the help you need. In 2 years from now, though, this really does depend on us flipping one of those chambers. If we don't flip one of the chambers in 2 years, then we have an issue because by year 3, we can't really continue tying stuff up in the courts. But for now, you know, just have hope. Keep the hope. We have had tough times before. We have persevered. We know how to go about this. And then aside from that too, I think that guy who came up and was spewing that nonsense, I mean, that was some deep privilege right there. I hope he takes a day and go to a food pantry and serve out food or something. Do something, right? Like that was god awful what he was saying.
Exactly. I ran a waffle line in Oregon, and it just drives me nuts when people just throw it away like that.
Right. Well, hey, Willie, thank you for coming up. I appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you for everything you do. I watch you every day at dialysis especially, and love what you do.
We're going to continue fighting. You know, we got a lot of work ahead of us, but again, we have gone through dark times. We have persevered, and we're going to do it again. It's what we do. Come on, it's what we do. It's what we do.
Fuck you, I hate you libtards.
Oh my gosh. Gosh, you know, I was taught in kindergarten that when somebody makes fun of you, it means they have a crush on you. If you're having a crush on me, you don't got to make fun of me. You could just ask me out. Where are you taking me? Panera? Where are we going? Please say it's Panera. Okay, let's get up our next guest. You know, like in kindergarten where like you would get teased by somebody but they just had a crush on you, that kind of that action has remained prominent in MAGA Republicans, mostly because their brains haven't developed since kindergarten, so they haven't really changed much. But hi. So they haven't really you have a little bit of an echo. Let me get up the next guest. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, I'm so glad I'm up here, Johnny. I love you so much.
I love you right back.
Thank you. I just wanted to draw your attention to HR 9495.
9495?
Yeah. And I learned about it yesterday, and I was reading through it. And basically, the way it's written, they basically can classify any organization as like a terrorist.
Now I gotta let you go. I'm sorry. I do gotta let you go, in part because we can't say that word on TikTok. So I'm gonna let you go. Can't say that word on TikTok. I apologize. Can't say that word on TikTok though. That being said, I do see the bill right here and I am going to dive into this and I'll do some research into it. I could see that it was introduced by a Republican in New York on September 9th. So I'll look into it. But thank you for letting me know about it. I do apologize again. I just, you can't say that word on here. I'm sorry. Hello.
Hi.
Did you vote for Donald Trump?
Absolutely not.
Ugh, thank you.
I was up the night of the election and we were talking and I'm from Jersey, and after the election I had like contact with people in my family who I had known voted for Trump, and it was just like really eye-opening for me because the way I had contacted the person was like not malicious at all. Mm-hmm. And then the response I got was like unbelievable. Like I can't even like repeat the things that was said to me, and like we're family members.
Right.
But then I blocked the person, and then it was like they were trying to play childish games with me, and I was like, I don't have time for this. Like, you are missing the picture. And then he tried to play semantics with me, because I was like, do you care about your daughter? Or like, I said, do you love your daughter? And he was like, of course I love my daughter. Are you stupid? I was like, you're missing the point here. Like, I'm not arguing this anymore. I don't have the energy. But yeah. I like tried all of your tricks with him and everything wasn't working. But I definitely used everything that I learned from you, which I appreciate
that. Listen, I think, all in all, it's worth a try. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Sometimes people are just too in the hole. I mean, I know for a fact I have like some family members as well. I mean, all of us do, that just are not willing to be reasoned with. So I just kind of cut them out, I really don't. I know that a lot of people mind losing, folks like that who were close to them and whatnot. But for me, for example, fighting for women's rights, I mean, that's not debatable. Like, if you don't support women's freedom, I would rather you not be in my life. If you don't support Social Security, the access of elderly Americans' right to an economic lifeline, then I would rather you not be in my life or like not be at my Thanksgiving table. So it's just, know that you're not alone. A lot of us have had similar experiences and that's just our new reality.
Yeah. Your lives have helped me a lot, just like feel a lot safer and everything with everything going on. So I appreciate you for that.
Oh, Jess. Well, thank you so much for coming up. I appreciate you taking the time. Have a good one. Okay.
You too.
I see Becca. Hello, my friend. Get back up. Hello. How are you? How's your Saturday?
Hey. Pretty good. I just wanted to say something really quick. I'm not going to take up a bunch of your time. To the guest that was up here a couple of minutes ago talking about going back home to Wisconsin, and she doesn't know if she wants to go to a red state, I just wanted to offer her a little advice. Minnesota, super close to Wisconsin. We are a sanctuary state for people who are trans and LGBTQ plus community. Your rights are fully protected here. Governor Walz will do everything he can to keep them protected here. Also, in terms of FAFSA and school here, we have low to no cost college, especially for people who are going to nursing, social work, and EMS. So if you are low income or no income, you can go to college here for free if you apply for the grants and whatnot, and your rights are fully protected. You can get student housing and you're super close to your family in Wisconsin. So for anyone who's listening, for anyone who needs a safe place to go, come to Minnesota. We are here. We have places you can live. We have housing. If you need a contact person, follow me, message me, get in contact. My DMs are open. I will help you find somewhere to go. I will help you find a place.
Governor Walz really should be paying you. Governor Walz really should be paying you as a travel advisor because you're very good at this.
Well, I've only been here. I've only lived here since 2019. As you know, I'm from Chicago. Mm-hmm. I can't go back to Chicago right now because as you know, I filed for divorce and I'm kind of engaged in a custody battle right now.
Gotcha.
With the ex. But I'm here. I'm going to be here for the foreseeable future. So if anyone needs help, and also in terms of AB, if it comes down to it, I'm close to the metro. I have an extra bedroom. get in touch with me. Message me. I have a car. I have an extra room. I have a background in EMS. I will take you to the clinic. I will take care of you afterwards. I will find you a place too. If you want to move here, I will help you find an apartment. I will help you find housing. I will help you find financing. I will help you find a school. We will fill out the forms together, because I'm not going to let anybody who is in a red state be at the hands of this tyrant and this tyrant's cabinet that he's putting in. So you find me, you message me, you follow me. I'm going to help you. I will do whatever I can to help people not be at the mercy of this saint. I told
Becca,
you,
you're
Johnny,
about to have
on election night-
1,300 people, including me, at your doorstep.
I told
Party
you,
at Becca's house.
I made a promise to you on election night that if this went the wrong way, that I was going to do anything I could to help people, anyone I could, to help people be safe and be protected. And I'm keeping that promise right now. My doors are open, my heart is open, and I don't have a lot of money, but I have the resources. I have the house, I have the car, and I have the heart, and people, my DMs are open, and I will help you do whatever I can. So
thank you so much.
Get in touch with me. I'll get you the resources.
I think I speak for everybody in our community when I say thank you so much for what you're doing. I mean, I know that that's going to mean a lot to so many people. So thank you, Becca, thank you. We'll keep fighting forward as well. We got a lot of work ahead of us, but we are going to ensure that we persevere like we always do. I appreciate you coming up, Becca. It's good to hear from
I
you.
said, if you can handle the cold weather, Minnesota's a nice place to live.
You know what? And I love the cold. Let me tell you now. I'll tell you what. Becca, have a good one, okay? I hope you have a nice Saturday.
Yeah, you too. Bye, Johnny.
Love the cold. I don't know if I speak for anybody else here, but I am a winter baby. I'm a Poconos baby. The cold is so good. I would rather be midwinter, 6 feet of snow on the ground than I would it be summer and hot, I guess. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
Oh my God. Hi. I love you so much.
I love you too. Oh my gosh. Stop.
I love you.
How you doing?
My husband loves you too.
How you folks doing?
Oh my God. We live in a very red part of upstate New York, and I drive around with we are not the same on the back. You voted for authoritarianism, hate, grape. I get so many people, they get so mad at me, but it's the anti-Trump Jeep, everybody calls it. And I just wanted to ask you one question, because I'm not hearing a lot about it. Are you at all disappointed with Democrats, especially Biden? I love Biden, but don't get me wrong. I wish he would use his absolute immunity to help us out of this situation.
Listen, I got a few issues with Biden. Okay, first off, Biden was never meant to be a two-term president. My disappointment with President Biden started the moment that he said that he was going to run for re-election. He made very clear that he was the bridge to normalcy and then would pass the reign on to a younger generation, that generation being Kamala Harris, and he did not do that. He gave her 100 days to campaign. That was issue one I had. And, people are like, well, that's selfless. He was selfless. He decided to drop. Yes, that's great. He was never supposed to run from the get-go. If Kamala had more time to run, she probably could have won, right? She had 100 days. It was the shortest campaign in history. If she had the 300 some odd days that she wouldn't had that would have been a different story. Second point being, looking at what he's doing now, I have an issue with him sitting down in the White House and shaking Donald Trump's hand. That's not okay.
That bothered me very badly.
Yeah, and then him, not exercising his presidential immunity right now to ensure that at least we, because we could really set the stage for when Donald Trump's budget or when his proposals come into play, that he has to spend a lot of time overturning what President Biden did to make it harder for him to accomplish that, which could save us 2 years to take back a chamber. He's not doing that. And I have an issue with that as well. I have a lot of issues here. I also understand that he's going to do what he's going to do, and there's not really much that we can do about it.
Setting up a right hook to finish him off. Maybe right near the end, he's just going to hit him with everything he has.
You're right.
I know you're busy, and I'm sorry that I'm taking up your time. I just love you so much. I'm 46 years old, and I just Oh, I wish you were my son. I just love you to pieces.
I don't think my mom would like that, but
I'm so unbelievably proud of you, and your mom is so lucky to have you.
well, that's beyond kind. Let me.
I love you.
I'm gonna call her right after this, and I'm gonna put you on the phone with her. You.
Okay. I love
Thank you
honey. Keep
again.
up the good work.
Have a good one, okay? That's beyond kind. My heart's full. Folks, I think what we'll do here is do a quick little live stream restart. I want to say a massive thank you to some folks real quick. Thank you so much to Kimberly and Christy. I saw that you sent like a contribution on Venmo. That is beyond kind. Also, thank you to Kindle and to Jay. To Gene as well. Folks, if you are supporting me on Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, please write your username on there so that I can follow you. Like you can type in a little message on that Venmo or PayPal on that Cash App. Let me know so that I can follow your account. If that's okay, I would like to follow you. I know that some people don't like that. That's also fine. Anyhow, massive thank you to everybody for tuning in. We're going to take a quick little break and come right back, a little live stream restart. But I appreciate you folks tuning in. And, thank you as well to... Pardon me. Thank you to all the folks here who have come up and told their stories, asked questions. If you have any questions, always feel free to jump in. Like, feel free to request to join the live. I'm not just if you're a Trump supporter, I'll bring you up and I'll smack you down. If you're a Kamala supporter, feel free to come on up and come talk to me. Don't be shy. I'm more than happy to chat. Sometimes I gotta, just talk to Trump supporters, but election's over. I'm more than happy to talk to Kamala supporters, answer any questions you have, get you whatever you need, But okay, we'll be right back. It's about lunchtime on the East and West Coast. What are y'all doing for lunch? You folks have lunch yet? Oh my God, I sound like my Nona. I'm like, did you eat? You're looking too thin. Did you eat? Did you eat? She would have said it in Italian, but Olivia's going out to eat quesadillas. Mr. Bean, let's go. Tomato sandwich. Wait, what's a tomato sandwich? DoorDash, Chipotle, Vietnamese food, Italian food, shrimp scampi. Nice. What is a tomato sandwich? Somebody just commented tomato sandwich. What's a tomato sandwich? Burrito. Nice. Breakfast for lunch. That sounds good. Chick-fil-A. Tomato sandwiches are very southern. Oh, okay. So that's why I don't know. It's tomato, mayo, bread. Gotcha. Tomato and mayo. What am I doing? What am I judging? I just went to judge somebody for having a tomato mayo sandwich. In Pennsylvania, we got way weirder foods, so I'm not judging. That ain't that weird. Tomato mayonnaise on a... You know what? I went to judge. I shouldn't be judging. That honestly doesn't even sound bad. I'll tell you right now, in Pennsylvania, we eat some weird shit. So I ain't judging you. I ain't judging you. Alrighty, folks. I hope you all have a good lunch. Alrighty, folks. I hope you all button, hit the share button. Please do help us get to 10,000 likes. If you voted for Donald Trump, join the guest request and let's have a conversation about that. We are going to get started with our first guest in just a moment. All right, we are charging. Got to put in an eye drop. My goodness gracious. Woo. How y'all doing? You guys doing okay? Having a good Saturday, hopefully. A happy Saturday. So, folks, again, if you did vote for Kamala Harris, please do hit that like button, hit the share button, help us get to 10,000 likes. We're already halfway there. If you voted for Donald Trump, join the guest request, and let's have a conversation about that, okay? How y'all doing? Doing good? Good to see y'all. Hello. Oh my gosh, Lynette, happy 63rd birthday. Folks, so again, if you are just tuning in and you voted for Kamala Harris, please hit the like button, hit the share button, help us get to 20,000 likes, because apparently 10,000 likes was too fast for you. If you voted for Donald Trump, join the guest request, and let's have a conversation about that. We are going to get started in just a moment. Can we get some happy birthday Lynette's in the chat? It's her 63rd birthday. Folks, one more time, if you voted for Kamala Harris, hit the like button, hit the share button. If you voted for Donald Trump, join the guest request. We are going to get started in just a minute. I got to sit tight while the algorithm does its thing. Normally takes a second. But hoping that you all are having a good day. We need it. Woo! A good Saturday. So one more time, if you voted for Donald Trump, join the guest request. If you voted for Kamala Harris, hit the like button, hit the share button. Help us get to 10,000. 20. Wow, we're already at 20,000. You guys are too fast. You guys are too fast! If you guys are liking the live this quick, MAGA Republicans are going to start to say that we're like rigging it. They're going to start saying that we're stuffing the like box or something. Help us get to 30,000 likes. Let's get up our first guest. Slowly but surely. Okay, they didn't come on up. Folks, in the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see my backup account. Do me a favor, follow that backup account. In the bottom left, it says Johnny Pomodessa. That's me. That's my little backup. Give that a follow. Hi, guys. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
I did, yes.
That's disgusting. Anyway, why?
Yeah, I voted for him because I'm not a fan of some of the things I feel like the left is trying to push. And
Gotcha. But you are a fan of stripping away a woman's right to choose. And you are a fan of sexual abuse. And you are a fan of civil fraud. Oh, and you're a fan of mass deportation, even though it cuts 40% of farmers out of the agricultural industry. And I LGBTQ plus Americans out of the military, even though that they're fighting to defend your life. Are these things that you're a fan of?
No.
Well, look at that.
Speak, then I mean,
look at that.
We can have a civil debate, but I mean, if you're not interested in that, what's the point of having people up here?
Are you already crying? It took 5 seconds for you to start crying. Really?
No, I'm not.
I mean, it looks like you are.
Oh, okay. I mean,
okay. So why'd you vote for a felon?
Yeah, I'm more in line with the stance of immigration as well. I feel like...
Okay, so let me give you a prompt, and it's not hypothetical, it's already happening. So in Florida, for example, SB 1718 was signed by Governor DeSantis, and this led to 40% of his farmers being deported. As it turns out, 40% of Florida farmers are undocumented migrants. That because, Americans don't want to do that labor-intensive, underpaid work. And most farmers are generational. That being said, the 40% of farmers that were undocumented migrants and deported led to a $13 billion GDP loss in 1 month under DeSantis' leadership. So help me better understand this. You're looking at a national $300 to $450 billion GDP gap and 40% of farmers across the country getting deported under Donald Trump's mass deportation policy. Can you help me better understand why you would advocate for that? And as you are advocating for that, can you also help me understand what your solution is to ensure that you don't have a $300 to $450 billion GDP gap as you implement the mass deportation policy put forth by Donald Trump's campaign? And how are you also going to ensure that farmers do not have a workforce development crisis as you cut their labor force about in half? Go ahead.
I mean, first of all, I feel like we have to talk about it. Just because these people are coming in doesn't mean they're actual citizens. So I think we need an
you just said just because these people are coming in doesn't mean they're actual citizens. What does that even mean? That was not a coherent sentence.
Sorry, I'm trying to say that
you're trying to sound smart, and it didn't.
Okay, I'm sorry. Do you like?
No reason to be sorry. You didn't choose to be ignorant.
Yeah, man. Can you? I have a question for you, actually.
I just need a response to what I had said. You don't need to pivot.
Well,
if you don't have an answer, just say so.
Are you gonna let me respond, or are you just?
Yeah, if you could hurry up.
Me sometimes.
Can you just hurry up and respond?
I mean, if you're gonna let me speak, sure.
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
Are you gonna interrupt?
Ma'am, you need to calm down. Just respond whenever you're ready.
Yeah, so I think we need to overhaul our system of immigration because...
Okay, that's not a response to what I just said, though. So again, you have 40% of farmers you're looking to deport, and this is going to lead to a workforce development crisis. Respond to that first.
A workforce
development crisis when it comes to agriculture. Yes, this is what led to, in Florida alone, the $13 billion GDP gap in 1 month, thus being October. We know on a national level, when implemented, this will lead to a $300 to $450 billion GDP loss every year. So can you help me understand what's your solution to ensure you're making up for the lost dime of the $300 to $450 billion GDP gap? How are you going to make up that money? And how are you going to ensure that farmers do not lose half of their workforce? Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I'm saying. If we can make our immigration system better and we can vet these
You're
people.
not looking to vet them, right? Because again, SB 1718 is the mass deportation bill implemented in Florida. It's the very bill that Donald Trump's looking to implement nationally. Democrats offered Governor Ron DeSantis the Farm Workforce Modernization Act that would have provided a straightforward and comprehensive pathway to citizenship for the undocumented migrants that he was deporting from his own, agriculture industry. And he blocked it because turns out, even though you MAGA Republicans were championing a legal pathway to citizenship and you just didn't want them here illegally, it turns out you didn't want them here at all, legally or illegally. Otherwise, you would have passed the Farm Workforce Modernization Act. You did not. So let's not pretend like you're going to offer a legal pathway to citizenship. You're not. That's why you blocked the bill. So now what's your plan?
I specifically did not block the bill. So
You did. You did.
Oh, I did. I did.
Yes. You voted for Donald Trump?
I did, yeah.
Okay, then you blocked the bill.
Doesn't mean he blocked the bill, did he?
Nope, you did.
Donald Trump specifically blocked the bill?
Correct.
Did he?
Yep.
How so?
He blocked it.
How did he block it?
Simple. He said, don't pass it. And then they didn't.
Well, he didn't do it himself.
He did.
So
He
that's
did.
not true.
No, he did.
I mean, you can keep arguing that, but it's not
It's not an argument. I'm just letting you know. Take it or leave it. But the fact is the fact. You can't change it.
All right, fair enough.
So tell
Yeah,
me
I
again,
have a
what's your
question for you.
response to the
I have a question
40%?
for you.
No, you didn't answer my question. You didn't
did.
answer a single question I
did.
asked you.
Said I
No.
did answer your question, but you just.
Oh, what was your answer again?
Yeah, if we can overhaul the immigration.
That's not an
system-
answer. That
Okay,
that
fine.
answer is
Fine,
not
that's not an
suffice.
answer.
Try again.
I guess I'm not answering the question again.
Right, that's because you're incapable of doing so. It's not my fault you're ignorant, right?
Okay.
I already said that. Like, it's not my fault that you can't understand. I can explain something to you, but I cannot understand it for you. That part's on your own. So once more, I'll explain what the question was. I said, in
You're
Florida,
just so
SB
smart.
1718 was signed, and this led to a 40% cut in the agricultural labor force. This led to a workforce development crisis in the state. It also led to, in 1 month alone, October, a $13 billion gap in Ron DeSantis' GDP. So I'm telling you, this is the very bill that Donald Trump wants to implement nationally, and this will lead to a $300 to $450 billion GDP loss, alongside 40% of farmers across the country being deported. And
those
your
farmers
answer was,
illegal?
well, we should overthrow the entire immigration system and offer a legal pathway to citizenship, which isn't a response because your party, you, blocked the Farm Workforce Modernization Act that would have done exactly what you just said we should do. So thus you don't actually believe in that. Help me understand, how are you going to make up the GDP gap that you're going to cause? And how are you going to ensure that farmers do not go bankrupt as they lose half of their staff? Whenever you're ready, if you could answer that question.
Are those staff illegal aliens?
Again, I can't understand this for you, and I've explained this now, I think, 5 times.
Not really. I didn't ask this question. Are those people illegal aliens?
What did I say about the 40% of migrants? That they were undocumented migrants, correct?
So are they illegal immigrants?
So they're undocumented migrants, correct?
Did they enter the country illegally?
Oh my goodness gracious, this is sad.
I mean, it's a yes or no question.
Again, yeah, and I've responded now 3 times. Again, I can tell you something, and yet I can't understand it for you, right? That's on you. You're going to have to understand.
Yes or no. Are those people illegal or not?
Do you know what undocumented means? You came up here to talk to me, and you don't know what undocumented means?
I'm asking you a question. Did they enter this country illegally?
So again, do you know what undocumented means?
Why don't you explain it to me, because you're so smart.
I can't believe you don't know what that means, but you came up here to talk to me about Donald Trump's immigration stance. Wow.
Did they enter the country illegally, though?
They're undocumented.
Did they enter the country illegally?
They're undocumented.
I mean, it's a yes or no question.
Yes, that was a response.
So they entered the country illegally.
They're undocumented?
Yeah,
what does
so-
undocumented
so
mean?
Do you think we should be allowing people to
Excuse
live
me. Excuse me.
breaking
Excuse me.
the first
Excuse
thing
me.
they did to
Excuse
enter our
me.
country is
Excuse
break the
me.
law?
They're undocumented. Do you understand now?
Okay, yeah, they entered illegally.
Okay.
So
help me better understand this once more. You're telling me, well, Johnny, you shouldn't want them here. Do you want them here? Oh, no. No. Because it doesn't help Democratic states when they're here. They help Republican states. For example, agricultural states typically lean conservative, thus being Florida, Iowa, North Carolina. And those states depend on agriculture to uplift their state's GDP. But when their GDP drops, the GDP of Democratic states increases. It's a competition. So for example, Pennsylvania does not typically rely on undocumented workers to uplift their economy, but that in Florida they do. 40% of migrants, again, making up the agricultural workforce in the state. You, as a MAGA Republican, should actually be advocating for undocumented migration because they come here to do the work that you don't want to do. I, on the other hand, as a Democrat from a Democratic state that does not depend on undocumented labor, would actually be saying shut down the border in its entirety. But I understand that people come to America looking for better opportunities. So in my heart, I'm saying we should give them a pathway to citizenship. You MAGA Republicans, to cut off your own nose and spite your own faces, are saying, let's get them out of here. Even though in Florida, perfect example, you lost $13 billion in your GDP once upon you moved the 40% of agricultural workforce out of the state. Did that make sense?
It doesn't really make sense.
Okay, let me better explain one more time. So again, I can explain it, but I can't understand it for you. So let me help you with your processing issue. So well, no, there's nothing to answer. You didn't understand what I said. So let me explain once more, okay? I'm not shocked you didn't understand. I'm just disappointed. So you look at Democratic states and Republican states. Democrats are advocating for a legal pathway to citizenship. MAGA Republicans are advocating to remove migrants altogether, both documented and undocumented. We know that because the Farm Workforce Modernization Act that would have provided a pathway to citizenship for undocumented migrants was blocked by your party. Now, what's important to recognize is that in Florida, they implemented SB 1718 that led to 40% of farmers being deported. As it turns out, in Florida, 40% of farmers are undocumented migrants. This also led to $13 billion lost in their GDP. Again, Democrats gave you a pathway to citizenship, but you blocked it. You'd rather lose billions of dollars and half your workforce in agriculture, Ron DeSantis. Just so you don't. Oh no. Actually, honestly, I, as a Democrat, should be advocating for all undocumented migrants to be deported through mass deportation because my state does not depend on undocumented labor as a Democratic state up north. And thus, when you lose your undocumented labor in Florida, my state will do better as Pennsylvania. Again, so my state, because this country is a competition, right? Like California is the 5th largest economy in the world. Understood? So when Florida depends on undocumented labor, if you want to deport them all, you do you, boo. I think that they should be here because they're going to uplift you. And I also, in the goodness of my heart, believe that they should have a pathway to citizenship. However, if you want to boot them out, you do you. My state's economy is going to thrive as you do worse in Florida. Because again, this country is a competition. So you want to cut off your own nose to spite your own face? Be my guest. I will be here in Florida. I will be here in Pennsylvania laughing at y'all in Florida. You do you. Did that, hopefully that made sense to you? Did that make sense?
I mean, yeah, I guess I can see the point where you're coming from.
Great. So now the hypocrisy behind this, again, is that I, out of the goodness of my heart, am saying, let's give them a pathway to citizenship so that you in Florida can do better. You in Florida are turning around and saying, no pathway to citizenship. Let's cause a multi-billion-dollar gap in our GDP and cut half of our workforce out of the equation just because, I don't want people who don't look like me here.
I don't think that's the position a lot of people.
That's the point. You blocked the Farm Workforce Modernization Act. What was Ron DeSantis thinking?
I'm not Ron DeSantis. I wouldn't know.
Exactly. But we know what he was thinking because actions speak louder than words. This isn't about having a legal pathway to citizenship. Otherwise, you would have passed the bill that offered it. Instead, you blocked that bill, and then you passed SB 1718 to deport the migrants who were feeding into your economy. You lost $13 billion for fun.
If I might
Excuse
ask.
you? What?
What would the bill have done if it was signed through?
Would have provided a legal pathway to citizenship for the 40% of farmers who are undocumented migrants. Ron DeSantis blocked it because he didn't want any migrants here whatsoever. And this led to him losing $13 billion in his GDP. It also led to him losing 40% of farmers. Now farmers are going bankrupt in his state as they can't meet production and supply and demand issues. He threw them under the bus simply because he didn't want people in the state of Florida that didn't look like him. That was it. That was the fact. Actions speak louder than words. If it was about having a legal pathway to citizenship, he would have passed the bill that made them documented migrants. But he didn't.
I mean, I don't really get that position because Florida is very diverse, so I don't know.
You're not paying attention to anything I just said, did you?
I did, yeah. I did, actually.
Okay. Again, I can explain this to you, but I can't understand it for you. That's on you. You got to do half the job here, right?
Nah, man, I got it.
Stings. Yeah, I don't think you do. So,
Well, can I ask you a question? Is it
well,
just
hold
gonna
on.
be-
I responded to you. I just responded to your question. You asked me how I feel about having undocumented migrants here, and I responded in a very detailed manner. I have yet to get an answer from you as to how you're going to ensure farmers do not go bankrupt as you deplete their farm workforce by 40%.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think we should just be bringing migrants in just so they can do our dirty work in the fields, making sure we can do that. I don't think that's morally.
Nope, you're confused. You don't have moral high ground here, right? Because your party blocked the bill that would have given them pathway to citizenship. So you're not doing anything out of the moral high ground. You don't have morals, right? Otherwise, you would have passed the Farm Workforce Modernization Act. And you're also not forcing them to come here. These folks are coming here looking for a better life in America. And because it's hard to get a job when you migrate, they're doing the job that Americans do not want. There's a reason why 40% of the farming workforce in Florida, after they had been deported, did not reestablish itself through United States citizens. We don't want to do that labor-intensive, underpaid work. Right? And you can pay as much as you want for it. People still aren't going to do the work because guess what? Working in a hot field in the middle of September does not sound pleasurable to anybody when you could get a 9-to-5 office job. So then help me better understand this. You have, again, this moral high ground you're standing on when in reality you blocked the bill that would have given them citizenship. Why did your party block the bill? Would have given them citizenship if this was about morals.
Why would we give people citizenship that entered our country illegally?
Well, because now you have 40% less farmers than you did before you deported them. And you're losing billions of dollars every month.
Isn't that a bad precedent to set, though, if we just say, oh, you guys...
Well, not really. This seems to be a new precedent. This seems to be a new precedent because when, for example, Italians immigrated here, guess what? They did the jobs that Americans didn't want. They were seamstresses. They were bricklayers. When Irish migrants came over here, they did the job that people didn't want. They worked in construction. I don't think... This isn't new. This isn't new.
Though?
No, they got a pathway to citizenship after coming here as an undocumented migrant. Americans fought to give them a pathway to citizenship. You're not listening.
I don't think you're listening.
You're not listening. I don't need to listen to you. You know nothing. You need to listen to me because this is an educational opportunity for you.
This is
right. You're the one who said,
lost.
excuse you. No. This is why Trump won. This is why Trump won. It's because you're stupid. Right? There are too many stupid people like you. That is why Trump won. Do you understand? Do you understand? You didn't know what undocumented meant. You didn't know what undocumented meant. You didn't know what No, you may not ask me a question. At this point, this is like me doing community service, right? You didn't know what undocumented meant. The second you didn't know what undocumented meant, this was no longer a debate. I'm teaching you now. Take it, leave it, that's fine. But let's be clear. Trump won because of ignorant people like you. Kamala didn't lose because of intelligent people like me. There's a difference between you and I. I know what undocumented means. So, unmute. Hurry up. Respond. Tell me again. We have gone in multiple circles, and I've answered every single thing you have asked me. Yet you have not answered a single question I've asked you. Once more, tell me, how are you going to ensure 40% of farmers who are deported doesn't cause a workforce development crisis for those in the agricultural industry? Hurry up.
Are you going to mute me?
This is a pivot. This is a pivot right here. You saying, are you going to mute me? That's a pivot. You're pivoting.
I haven't been able
You're
to
pivoting.
ask you.
That's a pivot. Now, see how you pivoted? You just pivoted. You said, I haven't been able to ask you. You asked me 4 questions. I responded to everyone. Answer to what I said. Go ahead. Answer to my question.
Corner by saying I
pivoting. Pivoting. Pivot. 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 Answer the question. You're pivoting. See, now you're silent. Okay, you can't answer. Just admit that you're stupid. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm so done.
I know. I know. Thank you for admitting it. Good riddance. Folks, we're going to go onto my backup account. In the bottom right-hand corner, see that account there that says Johnny Palmadessa? Give that account a follow, because we're going to jump onto that account and do some live streaming over there. The algorithm's not pushing over here, so we're going to jump on into that one, okay? Bottom right-hand corner there. It says Johnny Palmadessa. Give that account a quick follow. We're going to jump over there in just a minute. All right? Folks, again, if you did vote for Donald Trump, join the guest request. If you voted for Kamala Harris, hit the like button, hit the share button. Who's going to run next, Brian said. Me. I'm running for Congress. It's true. Johnny for Congress. Oh, good, Cole. I'm glad you're going to be okay. So, folks, again, if you did vote for Kamala Harris, hit the like button, hit the share button. Help us get to 20,000 likes. If you voted for Donald Trump, join the guest request, and let's have a conversation, okay? We'll give it another 30 seconds before we get started with our first guest. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's get up our first guest. Johnny for Congress. Who's ready? Hi, did you vote for Donald Trump?
I sure did.
That's gross. Anyway, why?
Because I like his nussy.
I guess somebody has to. We know that Melania doesn't. Let's get up our next guest. Again, if you did vote for Donald Trump, join the guest request. If you voted for Kamala Harris, hit the like button, hit the share button. Help us get to 30,000 likes. Hello, did you vote for Donald Trump?
Yep.
Ew. Why?
Because he's a better president.
No, he's not. He was actually ranked by 154 presidential experts as the worst president in our history. You know who they ranked as number 1?
Who?
Abraham Lincoln.
Did you
Donald
know that
Trump,
he won
the worst.
vote? Do you think that
You're
whole
saying
world
because he
agrees
barely
with you?
squeaked out a victory in the popular vote that makes him the best president in our history? Are you out of your mind?
I never said that.
That's what you just inferred.
I
That's
said
really weird.
54%
He squeaked
says
out a
otherwise.
victory. Excuse you. He squeaked out a victory in the popular vote, and you're like, that makes him the best president ever.
No, I
Wait
never
until
said
you
that.
hear how much Obama won by. So tell me again, why'd you vote for the criminal?
Tariffs.
Tariffs. You voted for the criminal based off of tariffs.
Yeah.
Okay. So help me better understand this. You know that in 2017, through Donald Trump's Jobs and Tax Act, which led to an $8 trillion debt that middle-class Americans picked up, and due to his tariffs like the 15 to 25% tariff on agriculture that led to a $230 billion tax hike on middle-class consumers, that consumers were picking up the cost for Donald Trump's economic policy and tariffs. This time around, according to Penn Wharton economists, Donald Trump wants to put a 60% tariff on China and a 20% tariff across the board. That is going to lead to a $3 trillion additional debt, and it's going to lead to $2,500 to $4,000 coming out of the pocket of middle-class consumers every single year. Why are you advocating for that?
Yep, sounds about right.
And that's what you
because
want?
it's not supposed to be.
You just said that's about right.
short-
That's what you want? Okay.
No, it's not supposed to be a short-term issue, right? This is supposed to be a long-term play to start having
But
more.
it's not a long-term play. Why didn't it work out the first time?
That's the whole reason he's doing it.
Listen. those in the economy right now who are looking for immediate relief don't care about your long-term play. You're saying, well, hopefully this will bring, manufacturing back to America and create more jobs. Doesn't matter. You don't got to implement tariffs to do so. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris during their term through packages like the infrastructure package, the CHIPS and Science Act, created double the amount of jobs that Donald Trump created on a monthly average, not including pandemic jobs. And they did so without hiking up costs of middle-class consumers through tariffs. Do you know what a tariff is?
Yep.
What? Go ahead.
Sorry?
You said, can you respond? Isn't an answer.
Yeah, give me a
Thank
sec.
you.
No, you're fine.
Give you a sec. You need to chat GPT it?
Yeah. Let me pull up ChatGPT to figure out what a tariff is.
So you don't know what a tariff is?
I think the word tariff is the most beautiful word in the whole world.
Wow. This is insane. So you're advocating for tariffs and you don't know what a tariff is.
World. And you know what's so funny? I love
what's so funny about this is that I love you come up here to spew nonsense, and yet when I ask you a simple question, you can't respond. May I ask you another question regarding the economy? Let's look no further than Donald Trump's economic package and the budget put forth by the House Republican caucus in March. This is the very budget that they put forth just last week, and they are reintroducing in the new year. This budget is going to cut Social Security taxes, not the taxes on the Social Security elderly Americans are collecting, but it's going to cut the taxes that pay for Social Security. It's going to cut the individualized income tax and the corporate income tax. Additionally, it cuts $1.5 trillion out of the Social Security pot, which is going to leave Social Security empty in its entirety. Can you help me understand? The stats come from the U.S. Federal Reserve, the U.S. Federal Revenue, the State Treasury Department endorsed these stats, and the budget is coming from the House Republican caucus, where 80% of them have already endorsed this proposal. Thus, it's the proposal they will be adopting. So tell me again, if you're cutting $1.5 trillion out of the Social Security pot, and you are cutting the corporate income tax, individualized income tax, and the Social Security tax, all of which adds $4.9 trillion annually to Social Security, what are you going to do for the elderly Americans, disabled Americans, and veterans who collect Social Security as a lifeline? They're going to be homeless.
You're an economist.
They're going to be homeless.
I didn't know that you were an economist.
I am. I'm actually the economist who created the website that tracks Donald Trump's debt as it increases with interest.
Your portfolio.
So again, I'm actually the guy who programmed the website that Donald Trump currently uses to track his debt down to the cent. Featured in HuffPost. Feel free to look me up. So without you pivoting and chat, let's take a guess. Is he going to A, answer the question, or B, pivot? Because I bet he B, pivots. Will you answer the question, or will you B, pivot again? Because you just pivoted there. Will you respond to what he said?
I think that you pivot a lot too, don't you?
You're going to pivot?
I mean, I'm not going to pivot.
This is a pivot right now. The conversation we're having, instead of you providing an answer, that is a pivot in its own. So will you answer to what I just said?
I think being on your platform.
Do you even remember the question by now? Like, do you honestly even remember the question yet?
Mute the mic when someone
do you
has
remember
a
the question yet?
talk about.
Do you remember the question? He's pivoting. Okay,
No,
everybody, on the count of three, we're gonna hocus pocus him out of here. 3, 2, 1. Hocus pocus, poof, and he's gone. Julia, thank you so much for the galaxy. Thank you, Julia. Let's get up our next guest. I knew he wasn't going to answer the question. The pivot. Logan, hi. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
I'm actually Canadian, so I didn't vote for him, but I stand with him. I agree with him. So,
and I have a box of tea getting dumped into the Boston Harbor with your name on it. Let's get up our next guest, folks. If you haven't already, please like the live, tap on your screen, hit the share button, and help us get to 100,000 likes if you like what you're hearing today. Let's get up our next guest. Slowly but surely. I like how that one guest goes to me, what's your source? And I go, the U.S. Treasury Department backed by the U.S. Federal Reserve and Revenue. Really? And he goes, perfect. What? Hi, did you vote for Donald Trump?
Yeah, I did.
Ew.
What?
No, that's all.
Can I tell you why?
No, hold on. That is all.
Sorry, what?
That is all. Just ew.
So can I tell you why?
No. Don't need it.
That is all. Then.
Goodbye.
You
don't know how to leave.
Nigger.
And there you go. See, chat, I was well aware that this was an absolute MAGA Republican. And he was just, the fact that I knew. See, guys, the issue here is I can track IP address. And so they do stuff like that, and I know exactly when it's an out-of-country IP address. Excuse you. So I know exactly when it's an out-of-country IP address. Russia's still at it. Hi, Johnny, digital strategist. I'm new here. Like, what? Y'all like that? I've gotten very good at what I do. Hi, did you vote for Donald Trump? Hello?
Hello.
Hello? Did you vote for Donald Trump?
Can you hear me?
Did you vote for Donald
Yes,
Trump?
I did. Yes, I did.
Okay, ew. Why?
Because I do believe that he's the better president.
Okay, that makes zero sense because apparently
I
154
had more and I was
presidential
able.
analysts said he was the worst president in our history. You're saying that he's the best. It just doesn't add up.
Well, the thing is, it's the same on either side. You can get a lot of people to say on one side where we can get a lot of people to say on the
it's
other.
not the same.
So
because one
it
side
kind of goes both ways.
Okay, you are delayed. You are delayed. Scroll out to your homepage and scroll back in to get rid of whatever glitch you have. Do you know how to do that? Scroll out to your homepage and scroll back in. Because you are very delayed. You're very delayed. You don't know how to do that, do you? Just like your average
Is that better?
Republican delayed. You need to scroll to your homepage, click out of the app, and click back into the live. You have 3 seconds to figure it out, or I'm moving on to the next guest. 3, 2, 1. And because I know she's delayed, we're going to give her 3 seconds additional on top. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Okay, next. Can't figure it out? Like, come on. Folks, please like the live, share the live, help us get to 100,000 likes. Hi, guest. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
Oh, hell no.
Oh,
and I'm
thank
here
you.
to show them why I didn't vote for
I
them.
appreciate it. I am just looking to talk to opposition right now. The algorithm is going to continue pushing it out to the wrong folks if I don't get a MAGA Republican up here as soon as possible. I want to have a debate here. Hi, did you vote for Donald Trump?
Yes.
Ew, look at your name. Oh, it's not a cult. It's not a cult.
Yeah, fuck you, nigger. I can't
It's totally normal. Okay, we're going to restart the live because now we're just getting a bunch of trolls. All right, we're going to restart the live and come right back in, okay? And I'm going to quickly go write down those 2 individuals' IP addresses so that I can find them. Be right back. Slowly but surely getting up our first guest here. Aaron, hi, did you vote for Donald Trump?
Yes, I did.
Why?
Well, if you look at Joe Biden, he's also happy. He voted for Trump.
It's a little early to be sundowning, right? I mean, it's only 6:20 on the East Coast. You're sundowning already?
Did you see that big smirk
Anyway,
on his
excuse me. Why again did you vote for Donald Trump? If you came here to sundown, I would recommend seeking therapy instead.
What do you mean sundown?
Well, normally the doctor doesn't tell you what sundowning is when you're sundowning. It's not my right to tell you what it is, but feel free to look it up. Here, go ahead. Do you want to take a moment and look it up? Go ahead. Go on, Pookie. You got this. Let's get some W Pookies in the chat. Yay, Pookie. Yay, sundowning. Woo!
I'm surprised you're not crying
W
right now.
sundowning.
With your liberal tears.
Anyway. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna be crying. Listen, in Trump's America, let's be very honest about this, right? Like, if anybody's gonna be crying here, it's gonna be you. I mean, are you not? I mean, like, you're sundowning, right? Like, you need the health care, but you're not gonna have access to it because Donald Trump is stripping it away.
Why was Trump's first presidency so good then?
Anyway, it wasn't. He was ranked the worst president in our country's history. Can you tell me why you're trying to deport 40% of farmers?
I'm not trying to deport.
No, you are. You voted for Donald Trump and he's trying to deport 40% of farmers. So after you have a workforce development gap in the agricultural industry, what are you going to do? Why are you trying to deport farmers?
I'm not the one deporting farmers.
No,
it's
but you
Thomas
are.
Homan.
So again, it's going to cost you $300 to $450 billion every single year. In Florida alone, it's already costing them $13 billion per month. So can you tell me again, why are you trying to deport 40% of farmers? You're just going to keep saying, oh, I'm not. That's not an answer. I can bring up somebody else, though, who's more coherent if you don't know how to respond.
Well, because they're...
Can you hurry up? Why are you stuttering?
We're only deporting illegal migrants that committed crimes.
40%. No, that's not true. You're deporting all of them. For example, in Florida, thank you for the turkey hat. In Florida, 40% of farmers are undocumented migrants. Ron DeSantis deported them. This led to a $13 billion gap in his monthly GDP. Per month, $13 billion per month he's losing. And it led to 40% of farmers being deported, where now in the agricultural industry in Florida, they're dealing with a workforce development crisis and nobody wants to do the job. Excuse you, I wasn't done. No, they don't. California does. Isn't that iconic? Florida, excuse you,
right?
excuse you. California has the 5th largest economy in the world. And I appreciate your pivot, but I'm still going to ask you this question. You're not going to get me to pivot off of it. So again, in Florida, you signed SB 1718 that cut 40% of farmers out of your workforce and cut your GDP by $13 billion in 1 month alone. Now, you're looking to do this nationally, and you're going to lose $300 to $450 billion every single year, according to the U.S. Federal Reserve and Revenue, with the backing by the Treasury Department. I'm looking at the House Republican budget as well, and you're looking to implement a mass deportation policy that will hurt Americans across the board. So help me better understand this. What are you going to do to ensure farmers do not go bankrupt as you reduce their workforce by 40%? And what are you going to do when you cut our annual GDP by $450 billion every year? Go ahead.
Well, the thing is, I don't live in Florida. I live in New York. So
great. I'm talking about a national mass deportation policy, right? I used Florida as an example. You're welcome. I gave you an example because I knew that you wouldn't be able to understand and retain the information if you didn't have a visual.
Florida has the greatest economy in
That's
the
not
entire...
true. Go look it up.
Go look it up. The lowest taxes, the lowest gas, the lowest inflation.
Wrong. You're talking about California. California has the 5th largest economy in the world, not Florida.
Yeah,
but you go get me a source. Excuse you. Go get me a source that says Florida has the best economy in the world. Hurry up.
Ron DeSantis said it. And he actually
You said that Ron DeSantis said that he has the best economy in the world, and so it must be true.
Debate versus Gavin
Get a source.
Go look up the inflation in Florida.
Get the source. Go. Hurry up. Get a source. Get a source. Okay, you're not going to get a source? Really?
Go look up the inflation.
I did. You're wrong. Excuse you. So again, inflation today is lower than that of what it was under Donald Trump's term. You can't just come up here and spew BS as though it be facts. So we're going to move on to our next guest. You saying that Florida has the best economy in the world is not true. California actually has the 5th largest economy in the world. Florida is nowhere near close to California. Okay, but what you just said was a blatant lie, and then for you to turn around and not even provide a source, I'm just going to move on to the next guest. You know nothing. Congratulations. You're your average, MAGA Republican.
Hello?
Excuse you. I wasn't talking to you yet, so take a moment. Folks, if you are just tuning into the live stream, welcome to it. If you voted for Kamala Harris, please do hit the like button. Help us get to 100,000 likes and share the live stream as well. If you voted for Donald Trump, join the guest request. Hopefully you can say something coherent, but I'm sure you won't. Let's see. Guest, hi. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
Yes.
What state are you from?
Connecticut.
What's the accent?
I'm from Luxembourg originally.
So when the wall goes up, what side of it are you going to be on?
Hopefully this one, this side in America.
I got news for you. Gosh darn. I mean, wow. You really voted for Trump with that accent? Man.
No, but Trump is...
Hold on. Let's just... A moment of silence, please, for this guest.
Trump would never deport
You just broke your own moment of silence. Moment of
Trump
silence.
would never deport
You're
me.
still breaking... Here, let me help you out. A little moment of silence for this guest before he's deported. Let's all just... Amen. Anyway, so why'd you vote for Trump?
Well, he's just far better than Kamala.
That makes zero sense.
Well, truthfully, I just didn't really want to vote for Kamala.
Yeah, I know, because she's a black woman and you're racist.
Well, not because I'm racist, but it is because she's a woman.
Because you're, there you go. So you're sexist and racist. Congrats. It wasn't that shocking. What time is it in Connecticut?
It's like about 6:30, I think. You cannot be serious. You cannot be serious.
You got caught. Moving on. Hi, you vote for Trump?
Yes, sir.
Ew.
Yep.
That's all.
That's it. All right. Are we just gonna keep looking into each other's eyes?
I'm not looking at your eyes. I can't see you.
Yeah, I'm looking at yours.
Okay, that's not creepy.
So, are we gonna talk Trump or?
And let me think about it. If I talk to him, I'll lose a brain cell. If I don't, could be, I don't know, could be good content. Brain cells content. Brain cells content. Brain cells content. Hold on. All right. Why'd you vote for the criminal felon, sexual abuser, civil fraudster, guy who was found a, constitutional violator, the guy who was called a fascist by his own chief of staff, the guy whose own vice president wouldn't run with him, let alone endorse him? Why you vote for him?
Well, I like the fact that he's banning abortion.
What state are you from?
What state? New York.
What time is it?
It is 6:30 on the dot.
Gotcha. Where are you from?
I just said New York, mate.
Yeah. What's the accent?
My parents are British.
Gotcha. Okay. Are they United States citizens?
Pardon?
Where were they born?
The UK.
Gotcha. Do they live here now?
Yeah.
Well, when the wall goes up, where are they going?
Probably over the wall.
Congrats, you voted against their own interests.
Well, yeah, because
I'll be here. To be clear, I'll be here, right?
Yeah,
because I'm not getting deported. But so I'll be laughing. I will be laughing.
I'll wave them away with you.
Oh wow, you're just son of the year,
I'm
aren't you?
not close to them. I'm not really close to them.
Yeah, I can tell why. Because you're a Trump supporter.
Yeah.
Typically, family members don't like talking to people like you. It's why you don't get invited to Thanksgiving.
I'm not a big Thanksgiving person because
I'm sure you're not. So anyway, you voted for the criminal because?
Well, so basically, my girlfriend and I were gonna have a child.
She left you too?
No, she aborted it, so I got really angry. So now I voted Trump. So
okay.
What happened then, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
And he's pretty good at golf.
This is, this honestly, I mean this sincerely. You might be the smartest Trump supporter I've spoken to.
That's so cute.
Yeah, congrats. You're so welcome.
Bit weird that you're flirting with a minor, mate, but okay.
Why are minors coming into my channel here?
Oh.
So you have Trump supporters coming in here. What is going on? Where are the actual Trump supporters? You have minors from England coming in here to come talk to me. What is happening? Making up things, saying that they voted for Trump. How creepy is that? Like you have a minor from England coming in here to say that he voted for Trump, which is a lie because clearly you're not voting age then. So you never voted. So you're lying. And you did so just to come talk to me. You even lied about your girlfriend having an abortion. How does that seem normal to these people? Like, how is that normal? That is the creepiest behavior I have ever seen. And to be clear, for folks who are like, ask their age, guys, if they say that they voted for Trump, then they're over voting age, right? Because you have to be 18 to vote. That is the creepiest behavior I've ever seen. Hi, did you vote for Donald Trump?
I did vote for Donald Trump.
See, so now everybody pay attention. Ready? They just said that they voted for Trump, right? Now, That means that they're voting age, which means over the age of 18. However, ma'am, pay very close attention. This is going to be really creepy if you two come up here, go through an entire life story that's completely BS, like saying you had an abortion, and then turning around and saying, haha, I'm not actually an adult. That's really creepy. That's like, you should be put into a mental institution creepy. You understand that?
Yeah, I'm 23, so
Okay.
I voted.
Okay. But you understand?
Yeah.
That that's like mental institution behavior?
Competent. Yes.
Okay. Okay. But clearly not mentally competent. You voted for Trump. Anyway, so why'd you vote for the criminal?
Yeah, so I live in a pretty deep blue state, and I have my whole life, and I'm a registered Democrat.
You're not a Democrat.
Well, I've voted Democrat in previous elections.
If I had a nickel for every time a Trump supporter told me that they were a lifelong Democrat, there would be no lifelong Republicans. I mean, you all say the same thing.
It's why he won the election, right?
It's actually not why he won the election. He won the election because there's too many ignorant people like you.
Well, I suppose that you could take that, but it certainly won't help you in future elections.
No, it will, because now we know that we need to win over ignorant voters. So we'll just do something to, make you ignorant voters excited. Like, we'll tell you something silly, we'll tell you that we have buy one, get one coupons for Dollar Tree. And you guys will be like, oh my gosh, I just cast my ballot for the Democrat.
Well, that's not why economically, I did not vote for Donald Trump. That wasn't my main
I'm sure you didn't vote based off of economics. I'm sure you probably, voted based off of the haircut or something?
No. His haircut is appalling. But I voted because I grew up in a family of veterans.
And you hate them.
I don't want them to go serve in World War III. And there's one party that's championing.
Got you. Right. So Donald Trump, you understand, wants to renuclearize Ukraine.
No, Donald Trump wants to end global conflict. He's the only president in the past 25 years that hasn't had a war.
So Donald Trump is saying that that's not true. First off, we could talk about the genocide he oversaw in Yemen. We could talk about Afghanistan. Don't lie. And don't try lying to somebody who actually has intelligence.
Yeah,
that doesn't work. No, take a step back. Take a step back. Help me better understand this once more. You have Donald Trump, who is saying he wants to renuclearize Ukraine by violating the Budapest Memorandum. That is going to put you on the stepping stone of nuclear war. You understand?
Yeah, I believe that Ukraine has every right
to defend
its sovereignty against Russia. But
Donald Trump exploited the graves. Donald Trump exploited the graves of U.S. American soldiers for his own personal profit. Donald Trump saluted a North Korean soldier. This guy dodged the draft numerous times. He refused to hold Vladimir Putin accountable for putting bounties on the heads of our soldiers, and he couldn't negotiate a simple deal to bring home U.S. Marine Paul Whelan. But you want me to believe that he could negotiate a deal to bring an end to the invasion into Ukraine? I mean, let's be very real about this.
Absolutely, I believe that. Yes.
That makes zero sense. He couldn't negotiate a deal to bring home a Marine, but he could negotiate a deal to end the war. Okay.
Well, how your candidate hasn't been able to
think of what I just said.
Think
of what I just said.
I heard you. Yes, I'm saying that
do you
your
expect
candidate,
me to believe that you and Donald Trump are going to end the war when you couldn't bring home a single Marine?
Who has your candidate brought home from?
You're not
Gaza. No
Joe
one.
Biden and Kamala Harris did bring home U.S. Marine Paul Whelan, right? Donald Trump couldn't, but you think that he's going to be capable of ending a war?
Joe Biden was responsible for Afghanistan.
Ma'am. Stop pivoting into Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Neither of them are going to be president in a few months. Calm down. Calm down. Now you got to own up to the fact that you don't have a single policy to step on, right? Because again, you won the election thanks to ignorant voters like yourself voting for a felon, right? The same way that you MAGA Trumpers who are ignorant enough to think that tariffs are going to help lower your costs when everybody knows that's not how it works. I mean, let me prove it. What's a tariff?
Yeah, I do know what a tariff is about. Putting raising prices. So like if I wanted to sell a Ford, an American-made truck in China, it would be 200% more expensive because they put tariffs on American goods. What I believe is that
so that's one. That's not what a tariff is.
Well, no, it's an example.
You're talking about an effect of a tariff. So you just say I don't know what a tariff is, Johnny.
I do know
very
what a tariff
easy.
is.
Then what is a tariff?
It's a foreign country putting an extended price on another country's imported good.
No, that is not a tariff. That is a process of a tariff. Oh my God. Okay, so that's fine. It's 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 fine.
Like,
Help
what do
me
you want?
understand once more.
Noun?
For example, Donald Trump put a 15 to 25% tariff on agriculture, and this led to higher costs on produce by $230 billion. Middle class Americans paid for that.
Yes, but I think that.
So why are you advocating for that?
Because I think tariffs will be a more ethical form of processing goods. I don't think that, like, what you said to
middle class Americans paid $230 billion out of pocket for Donald Trump's tariffs the first go around. How is that ethical? You're taking money from people who don't have it.
Well, I'm saying that right now we are importing goods that are being made.
You're taking money. Thank you, Kelly, for the swan.
By
You are
children.
taking no.
Yes,
no.
across
You are
the
taking
street.
money from people who don't have it, and you're saying because you want it made in America. Ma'am,
it's unethical.
That's fine and
You know.
dandy, but you campaigned on cutting costs. So that means you lied to middle class consumers who are expecting you to cut costs. Instead, now you're advocating and you're speaking truth. You're saying the quiet part out loud that you're going to increase costs.
Well,
correct?
Yes, but
there you
have to
go.
look
So
at
what's
the
your
opposite
message to all the
policy.
middle class consumers who thought, again, I'm talking about not the middle class consumers who knew well that you were spewing lies through your teeth, but for the uneducated voters, that facet that thought you were going to cut costs and that's why they voted for your candidate. What's your message to them other than that you lied?
My message to them is that their income tax is about to be cut.
But the income tax getting cut will cut Social Security. So now what's your message to elderly Americans? Because, for example, we know for a fact that the income tax, individualized income tax, Social Security tax, and corporate income tax, adding billions of dollars, I mean, even the corporate tax alone adds $400 billion annually to the Social Security pot, which gets $4.9 trillion annually from all of these taxes that Donald Trump is looking to cut. What is your message to the elderly Americans? Because this is also not ethical when you're cutting their Social Security and disability benefits to give the middle class a tax cut. Which is pennies in comparison when the tariffs come into play and hike up their costs.
I believe that we will have plenty of money to pay for our own Social Security programs when we stop sending hundreds of billions of dollars overseas.
No. Okay, so that's the ignorance again. Your ignorance is showing. Ma'am, your taxes aren't paying for the money going overseas. For example, the money to Ukraine is through weaponry. Did you know that?
Yeah,
Apparently
and
not. And two, you have no choice, ma'am.
Absolutely our
Ma'am,
money.
pay attention. You have no choice but to pay it. Because you signed the Budapest Memorandum in the 90s. But this is my point. Donald Trump is looking to violate that, and that will renuclearize Ukraine. You said you had veterans in your family. Apparently you do hate them, because by violating that agreement, you're going to be in a Cold War.
Yeah, not at all. And
no, it's not a not at all. It is that is the fact.
No,
I'm not
it's not
asking you. I'm
true.
telling you. Maybe you got confused. I'm not asking you, silly goose. I'm telling you.
Weapons are not cash, but weapons, we're paying for them. We buy all of our
No, you
weaponry.
silly goose.
Yes,
You're not.
It is. Every cent
no,
that the federal government spends is from the taxpayer. It's how it's funded.
No, you're confused. Yes. You're confused. So the money
You're so
that went over to
condescending.
Ukraine.
Your party is alienating voters left and right.
Cry. Listen, if you're going to keep crying, can you just cry into this cup real quick?
I mean, there's not a tear on my face.
Well, I'm just curious because we could save the tears and go water the drought in Utah. So listen very closely again. And we'll talk about the agricultural workforce that you are undermining through voting for Donald Trump, and we will get there. But I want to better educate you on this. Once more, you are saying, well, the middle class is going to get a tax cut. No, they're not. You're going to cut their taxes to offset the costs that are going to increase as you implement tariffs, like the 60% tariff on China, 20% tariff across the board, that is going to increase the debt by $3 trillion and increase costs of middle-class consumers $2,500 to $4,000 every year. So they're going to get higher costs. They are going to get a tax, which is the tariff, and they are going to lose out more money as they have to allocate more towards the debt you're going to increase. You're saying, well, we're going to cut their taxes to offset that. Okay, but that is not a tax cut, right? That's not a tax cut. You're saying that they're just going to remain as they are today. To do so, you're going to cut the income tax, Social Security tax, and corporate tax. That is going to cut Social Security in its entirety. Those are the only three taxes that pay for Social Security. You're getting rid of them. So now those who collect Social Security, the elderly Americans, disabled Americans, they have an issue. And veterans, they have an issue. Because now they can't collect disability benefits or Social Security. Well, you're saying, well, we'll have enough money to pay for it. You will just take it from the money that, is going to Ukraine. First off, That's not how that works. The money that's being allocated to Ukraine is through weaponry, and any taxpayer that paid for that is long gone. It's old weaponry, right? It's not new weaponry. It's old weaponry from taxpayer dimes of people from generations ago. Second issue on this that we got to understand is you're turning around and saying, well, we'll pay for Social Security out of pocket or something. What? Social Security, you're cutting it. What do you mean? What? You got to answer this. What's your plan for those who are disabled, elderly, or veterans who rely on Social Security and disability benefits? What's your message to them? You just said, oh, well, we'll have the money to pay for it. Where's that money coming from?
My message is that the US government has absolutely corruptly spent hundreds of billions of dollars on not only foreign wars.
Okay, that's Mike Johnson, though. So you're saying that the weaponry going towards Ukraine. No, you just said that the weaponry going towards Ukraine is corrupt. Okay, so then Mike Johnson is corrupt. He's the one who sent it. You're Republican Speaker of the House. He's the one who passed it. He passed the foreign policy aid. He passed it. Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, passed it. No, he's actually on Team Trump, and Trump endorsed him. So what are you talking about?
Do you know how much money the United States of America?
Do you know what I just said, and can you recognize it?
I don't think that I think that you've been given a set of facts that have been framed in a way.
I have a set of facts. No, I have a brain. It's crazy. No, I just use it. It's so weird. I don't know.
Up until 6 months ago, I was planning on voting for
No, you weren't.
Biden-Harris.
So help me better understand this once more. Let me give you an issue, because you brought up agriculture, you brought up farmers. Let's talk a little bit about that production there. Donald Trump has a plan to implement mass deportation. In Florida, they already implemented this policy through SB 1718. That means Senate bill. This policy cut 40% of farmers out of his workforce. It also cut his GDP by $13 billion last month alone. Now, if you implement this nationally, you're going to lose $300 to $450 billion every single year, and you're going to lose 40% of farmers across the country. What is your plan to ensure that you don't have a GDP gap that crumbles your economy? And what is your plan to ensure that farmers don't go bankrupt as you take 40% of their employees and toss them over a wall?
Can I ask you a question?
No, you can respond to mine, and then you may ask.
Well, here's what I voted on. I voted on that I think
You're going to ignore what I said?
No, it pertains to that.
No, only pertains to. I need an answer to what I said.
Well, that's the same thing.
Respond to what I said. No, pertains to suggests that you're going to say something that is reflective of what I said. I need a direct response. Go ahead.
Okay,
She doesn't know vocabulary. I'm so shocked.
What am I going to do to make sure that the GDP doesn't crumble? Well,
correct.
I think that we should incentivize and all of the domestic labor in this country that is legal and not built off of taking advantage of poor migrants without their papers, because that's why we've been able to.
I so agree. I agree. And again, I get to agree with that. No, hold on. I get to agree with removing undocumented migrants because they don't make up the workforce from up north Democratic leaning states. Rather, they benefit your Republican down south conservative leaning states, but you MAGA Republicans, again, are too ignorant to recognize that. So you took the loss to your GDP, like in Florida where they lost $13 billion, and I'm okay with that because that means my state's going to do better off when, again, this isn't let's be very real, guys. There's competition in the states. When you do better, it's not a you do better and I do better and we all do better together when it comes to statewide economic distribution and local economies. When your economy can't manufacture something because you just took 40% of farmers out of your state, then my state, who doesn't rely on 40% of farmers as undocumented migrants, we do better because we get to manufacture more because you can't.
Well,
so again, when the conservative states, excuse you, so congrats. Now you're excited that you live in a blue state. It's great. So then you should have voted blue, right? So help me better understand this. Your party is advocating for stripping away 40% of their own workers and cutting their own manufacturing and GDP by $450 billion every year. Your answer to that was, well, we shouldn't benefit off of the labor of undocumented migrants. Okay. So then let's say you make them documented. We know that MAGA Republicans don't want that either because you blocked the Farm Workforce Modernization Bill that would have provided them with the pathway to citizenship. So don't pretend like this is about moral high ground. This isn't about you wanting them here documented. You don't want them here at all. Otherwise, why did your party block the bill to make them documented citizens?
That's actually, the Republican voters have been voting for immigration reform for like 30 years.
No, but you're not trying to reform it. You're not trying to reform it. You're just trying to deport every migrant. No, pay attention to what I said. SB 1718 removed the undocumented migrants. Democrats gave you that immigration reform bill. First off, we also gave you a border bill. But the bill I'm currently talking about is the Farm Workforce Modernization Act, and you blocked it. So you didn't want documented or undocumented migrants here. It was just about you guys not wanting people here who are a little diverse. That's all. So, I mean, which is crazy to me because you guys have a lot of, listen, you MAGA Republicans have a lot of diversity in your headspace. I mean, you have one brain cell here and it's really diverse because it's so far away from the brain cell over here that they just can't clash and make a spark. So help me better understand this. You look at Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans who are cutting your own workforce by 40% when it comes to agriculture, and you're saying that that's a good thing because why?
I think that what you said earlier wasn't true because the entire country benefits on the amount of people in California that are farming undocumented.
Oh, so now you're saying that you're benefiting off of the workforce of California, yet at the same time you mock California. Julia, thank you so much for the galaxy. California is a democratic state. Excuse you. California is a democratic state. If you like what California is doing, vote blue, right? It's so easy, but you didn't. Thank you so much, Steph. That was the cutest little cat thing ever. That was adorable. Thank you, Steph. So help me understand again. You literally, I mean, think about it. I'm giving you voted for Trump, and I keep telling you about what MAGA Republicans are doing wrong, and it's like you understand they're doing something wrong, but you won't admit it, and then you keep saying nonsense like, well, I was a lifelong Democrat. That doesn't help you. That makes you look even more dumb, because now it looks like, oh, wow, somehow you got lost in translation, and you forgot everything that was reasonable and then voted for a felon. That doesn't help you. The second issue here is you turn around and say, well, I'm from a blue state. Great! So you're in a blue state and you're saying, oh, fantastic, I'll be fine. Then you ought to vote for more people to have blue states than red states. So again, now you look ignorant. Now this time you turn around and say, well, we all do better. Look at California. Their economy's great. I mean, we're all doing better because of California. California has the 5th largest economy in the world. California is a bright blue state. So again, you voted for Trump. But it seems like deep down somewhere, you understand that if you are a blue state, you're better off thanks to being in a democratic state.
I think that there is like
let's sit on that for a second.
Yeah,
do you understand? You keep using democratic states as examples for something going right. I agree. But that's why you should vote blue. And yet you're making the case that you voted for Trump because you think he's going to do better. Then instead of saying, no, he's going to do better, you say, well, a blue state's doing phenomenal. I mean, California's doing great. California's blue. You said my state's doing great. Your state is blue.
My state is not doing great.
You said it was. You can't change it now because I called you out. No. You don't get to change it now. What state are you from?
I'm from Minnesota.
Your state is one of the most intelligent in the country. Minnesota?
Yes.
Is ranked as one of the most economically self-sufficient and intelligent states in the country. What do you mean your state's not doing great? Get out of here.
Yeah,
Get out of here. No.
No, you haven't been there.
Between the IQ points between California and Minnesota, they could have made up enough IQ points to share and go around all of the South, right? What, like, ma'am?
I find that to be an extremely classist and racist statement.
No.
Yes.
Let's understand something very well. The facts are the facts. The top 5 dumbest states in the nation are all red. The top 5 smartest states in the nation are all blue. And Minnesota's in the top 5. What I just said was in no way classist. Pay very close attention again. The top 5 states in the nation that are most intelligent, all blue. Dumbest, all red. So what I said is a fact.
What is the benchmark for intelligence? Excuse
you. I also complimented you. You're from Minnesota. I said you have a very smart state. Congrats. So help me understand again. You haven't given me a single actual reasonable response to anything I have said. all that you have done is pivot and gaslight and turn around and try to moral high ground your way out of any response. You are virtue signaling, saying, Johnny, I can't believe you said that. Ma'am, you voted against the rights of women across the country. You voted against the rights of LGBTQ plus Americans when it comes to marriage equality. You're ripping transgender Americans out of the military, implementing a Muslim ban. Let's be very real on this. You don't have any ground to stand on when it comes to morals, right?
Well, there was never going to be any change to abortion.
User, thank you
know
so much
that
for
there
the
were
galaxy. Excuse me. So as long as you understand what I just said, then we can continue moving forward in the conversation. Do you understand what I just said?
No, because it's not true.
You are voted. You voted for Donald Trump, the guy who's ripping transgender Americans out of the military. Yes or no?
Yep, that's fine.
Okay. Now,
I'm good
the
with
guy
that.
who overturned Roe v. Wade. Yes or no?
No, he didn't.
Nope, he did.
No, he didn't. He put up three judges, one in 2016, one in 2017, one in 2018.
Ma'am, he posted on Truth Social. Ma'am,
Congress.
he posted on Truth Social saying he's the one who did it and that it wouldn't have been overturned if not for him. Are you saying he's wrong?
He's the one that put up the judges.
Are you saying he's wrong?
Then, I'm saying that this
Okay,
was
so he did overturn it?
By our
He did overturn
Senate.
it?
Nope, Congress. And
No,
the
Congress
judicial
never
branch.
overturned it. Congress
No,
had
they-
nothing to do with the overturning of Roe v. Wade.
No, they greenlit the
Ma'am,
judges.
do you know
who
what
put up.
Congress is?
Yes, I'm very aware
Okay,
what Congress
so Donald
is.
Trump nominated 3 Supreme Court justices and they overturned Roe v. Wade. Now, you're saying Congress overturned it. No, ma'am, no. And then help me better understand this as well. Donald Trump is running around saying it wouldn't have been overturned if not for him. So this isn't a you saying he didn't do it. He's saying he did it, period. So he overturned Roe v. Wade. You voted against the rights of women. You voted against the rights of transgender Americans, LGBTQ plus Americans, black Americans. You voted against the right of middle class Americans, elderly Americans, of veterans. And you're turning around saying, I have some virtue signaling moral high ground. Get out.
I think that your take lacks so much nuance. I pity you.
Pay attention.
I pity you.
Ma'am,
Really.
you should be pitying nobody.
Yeah, I really pity
Because
you. I really hope
by
that
definition, you should be pitied. And we do pity you. Because you don't know any better. And you've made that clear in your statements. But for you to come in here and not respond to a single thing I've asked you. Like, do you understand you unmute yourself. You don't need to mute and hide. Do you understand you haven't answered a single solitary thing I've asked you? Not a single thing. I've asked you well over a dozen questions. I've answered every single thing you have asked me, and you haven't responded once to I have asked. Like, not once have you responded, not once. I haven't gotten a single solitary answer out of you. Not once. And that's because you don't know how to answer. Then you turn around and say, you know what? Donald Trump is going to be so good for the economy. But in every example where you talk about a thriving economy, you use a blue state as reference. You talked about California, Minnesota. Those are blue states, not red states, hon. I bring up Florida and how they're economically destroying their agricultural industry, and you gaslight and say, no, that's not happening. That's not happening. Not happening. That's not happening. And then you turn around and say to me, Johnny, I pity you. Ma'am, you pity me? You voted away your own rights. You have less rights than me in Donald Trump's America. You understand that? On the playing field, pay very close attention, ma'am. In Donald Trump's America, I'm the top of the food chain. That's not what I wanted, though. I wanted us to be on an equal playing field where we can be competitive and uplift one another equally. Have equal freedom under the law. You voted for Donald Trump. I voted for Kamala. You voted against yourself. I voted to fight for you, and apparently it wasn't enough. And yet you are out here turning around saying that, oh, Johnny, I pity you, when I, in Donald Trump's America, trump you. I am the top of the food chain in Trump's America.
No,
I
you're
pity
not.
you for not knowing better. I have more rights than you in Donald Trump's America. I didn't vote for that. I voted for us to be equal. You voted against your own interests, but don't come up here and tell me that, oh, I'm the loser and that, oh, I'm so pitiful and, oh, gosh, I'm so mad about Donald Trump winning. Ma'am, you voted. These 4 years are going to be a lot harder for you than it will be for me. You understand that?
No, they won't.
No, it will.
I have exactly what can you do that I can't?
Ma'am,
Absolutely
these 4
nothing.
years are going to be a lot harder for you than it will be for me.
That's not true, but
Nope, that's
really,
true.
The
Because that's
fear-mongering
Donald Trump's
is-
America.
You're very
Again,
good at
I voted for
fear-mongering and
Kamala.
gaslighting and
No,
patronizing.
I voted for Kamala. This whole nonsense, This whole turning around virtue signaling, it's going to end. You understand me?
Well, your candidate didn't win. So
right. So now you get less
matters.
rights than me. Congrats.
No, I
Yay, you
don't.
won. Yay, you won. Congrats. Let's get
Tell
some
me what
W's in
right
the
I
chat.
don't
She
have.
won. So you just turned around and said to me, oh, your candidate didn't win, though. Right. Oh, gosh, I'm a loser. Oh, I lost so bad. You have less rights than me, though. But yay, you won the election. You won the election.
What right
Hold
don't
on.
I have?
Excuse
You
you.
won't
We're
tell-
cheering for you. Yay, she won the election. Yay, everybody. Let's get some W's in the chat. Ma'am, you won the election. You lost at life. You have less. You literally. I fought so that we could have equal rights. That's what I've been knocking doors for, making phone calls for months. You're coming up to tell me that I'm pitiful, that I'm the loser, my candidate lost. Yeah, your candidate won, but you lost.
Tell me what I lost.
Say it for yourself. You know very well what you lost.
No, I didn't lose anything. I have not lost one
You know
right.
very well what you lost. Go ahead.
No, I don't.
Mm-hmm. Don't gaslight. You know very well what you lost. Go ahead.
Well, I have just as many rights today as I did November 4th.
Nope.
So
You have less rights
No, I
today
don't.
than your mother did growing up.
no, I
What
don't.
right did you lose? Go ahead. You know exactly what right you lost.
I didn't lose
Don't
any.
gaslight. This
No,
is your
but
last time I'm going to
this is
ask
the
you.
truth.
Don't
That-
gaslight. What
As you
right
know-
did you lose? You know very well what right you lost.
No, because my state has
You
a
know
law.
very well what right you
there.
lost. So now you're saying that you didn't lose a right because your democratic state is protecting you. So again, you're making the case why you would want to vote blue, but you voted for Trump. Do you see the issue with that again?
No, because
You're
7 out of
using a
10
democratic
states-
state as justification for why you're going to be okay. So you're saying, well, my state's Minnesota, and so I'm going to be fine. So, but okay, then you screwed over women across the country in red states.
No, 7
No,
out of
pay
10
attention to what I just
states-
said.
Oh
Pay
my
attention
God,
to what I
you're
just
so
said. Pay
infuriating.
attention to what I just said. You just said you didn't lose any rights because you're in Minnesota, a blue state. But you voted for Trump, and so you recognize that you voted away the rights of women in red states. So if there are a woman in Florida, a woman in Alabama, a woman in Missouri, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas,
They
you're
have the
saying,
right to vote for a difference in their state's
and
legislature.
yet there weren't enough people who fought for those women. Clearly, look at yourself. You voted away the rights of them when you voted for Donald Trump. You did. And so I'm trying to understand here how selfish that is, and then how
hilarious.
ridiculous you are to turn around and virtue signal.
You're hilarious, really.
No,
Yeah.
you're getting deeply upset because you got slapped down.
No,
Pay very
I'm
close
laughing
attention
because
here.
you're
You said
actually a
something
moron.
immensely selfish. You
No.
are advocating for stripping away the economic lifeline of the elderly, thus being Social Security, and you're telling them to get over it. You are telling veterans that you're going to renuclearize Ukraine, lead us into a Cold War, and you suggested they should get over it. You look at undocumented migrants, and you don't tell me how you're going to create a legal pathway to citizenship, but you tell them to get over it, even though it cuts the workforce in agriculture by 40%. Now you run away, but I'm not done. You turn around to me and you say, Johnny, you're pitiful. Johnny, you're the loser. Your candidate lost, Johnny. My candidate lost, but my candidate was fighting for you. I voted for Kamala so we could be on an equal playing field. But you turn around to me and say you voted for Trump and then laugh in my face? I'm the top of the food chain in Donald Trump's America. I didn't want that. That's what you forced me to have. You voted against your own interests. Then you turn around to me and say, well, you know what? I voted against the rights of women. I voted against transgender Americans. I voted against LGBTQ plus Americans, Black Americans, union Americans. I worked against the middle class America. I advocated against the rights of elderly Americans. And you turn around to me and you tell me that, Johnny, what you're saying is classist. Nope. The claims I make speak true through the actions and language you just spewed on this live stream, ma'am. What you just said. The blatant ignorance speaks volumes to the statistics I used to prove very well that MAGA Republican states are in fact the worse off economically, worse off in workforce development, and worse off when it comes to intelligence. We know this be true. This is the stat. Fun fact. Least intelligent state in the nation, West Virginia. Second least intelligent, Oklahoma. Most intelligent in the nation? New York, New Jersey. But go ahead. You go defund the Department of Education. You do you. You do you. You go cut your workforce by 40%. You do you. You go overthrow the middle class. You do you. You do you. Right? I hope you get everything you voted for. But just know it is only going to hurt MAGA Republicans, because Democrats are still going to be there to fight for the Democrats in the courts. Joe Biden spent a lot of time building up that judicial system. We're ready to hold up every single action that Donald Trump takes for at least 3 years. And by then, we'll have taken back the House or the Senate. I'm glad she ran. At least she knew that she was out of her league and wrong. Can we get some cow emojis in the chat, by the way? I want to say a massive thank you to Vanessa for the $3 and Pauline, thank you for the $5 on Cash App. I appreciate it. Folks, if you like what you're hearing today and you want to support me, I appreciate it. My Venmo, PayPal, Cash App are in my bio, but please feel no pressure to do that. But please do feel pressure to hit the follow button in the top left corner. Join our little family. Thank you for the cowboy hat, Vincent. I appreciate it. Hi, Sean. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
I didn't, but they don't care.
Oh,
I wish they did. I wish they cared.
They are an interesting group.
Yeah. I love what you do, though. I appreciate you. I don't want to waste your time, but thanks for what you're doing.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you for coming up.
Yep.
Thank you so much for the galaxy, Lisa. Thank you. Oh, we hit our live goal. Oh my gosh. That was very quick. You guys are crazy. Okay, let me see. I'll restart the live goal. That's crazy. That's crazy. Thank you so much, guys. Hello, did you vote for Donald Trump?
Yep.
Is that your voice?
Yeah.
That's really unfortunate. I'm so sorry.
All right. Thank you, I guess.
No, you're so welcome. Let's get up our next guest. If you did vote for Donald Trump, join the guest request and let's have a conversation about it. Slowly but surely getting up our next guest. Somebody just commented and said I'm mean. Aw, am I mean? Guys, am I mean? You guys call it mean. I call it Italian. Hi, Jake, did you vote for Donald Trump?
Absolutely not, but I have a weird stance that you'll understand after the first sentence. We should have supported them more when they wanted to split the party.
What do you mean?
They would have never been able to get Donald Trump back in if they would have actually.
Oh, Jake, dude, I hear you. That's not an unpopular stance. So, guys, what he's saying here is when MAGA Republicans were looking to split the ticket, so that Republicans would go to Nikki Haley and MAGA Republicans would go to Trump, thus dividing the two. Inevitably, Trump still would have been the candidate, but they'd be more divided. That's what he's saying. Totally get it. Not an unpopular opinion.
I'm out after this. My profile picture is actually my neighbors from up the street's flag after Trump lost.
That's insane.
Yeah, posted it directly to my Facebook next day.
They really take this thing for granted. It's insane. They really take it and they just burn it, rip it, throw it on the back of a pickup truck. It's not normal. Anyway, Jake, thank you for coming up, man. You have a good one, okay?
Thank you for what you do. Appreciate you.
Man, the fact that MAGA Republicans really take that flag. I mean, even Donald Trump signed the U.S. flag. That's not normal. That's actually against Chapter 4, Title 1 of Flag Code. But whatever. You know? Like, I don't know. It's just not a good look when a president's violating flag code. But trying to get up our next guest. Folks, if you did vote for Donald Trump, join the guest request. Let's have a conversation about it. Thank you so much, Crinkly, for the jellyfish. I appreciate it. He also signed the Bible, right? He sold Bibles. I feel like there's something about that in the Bible, not selling Bibles. Like, we sold the Bible. Oh my gosh. Folks, again, if you did vote for Donald Trump, join the guest requests. Let's try to get up our next guest. You're heavily breathing into the microphone. It's weird.
Can you hear me?
I wish I couldn't.
Oh, I'm sorry.
How old are you?
So go ahead, shoot.
How old are you?
How old am I?
Correct.
36.
When were you born?
1988.
Okay. Why did you vote for the criminal? Are you delayed? Why do you keep clicking out of the app? You have all of 3 seconds to get your ass back in here. 3, 2, 1. Okay, we're moving on to our next guest. Like, huh? He's like chat GPTing it. That's why he kept clicking out and in. Trying to get up our next guest. Please, folks, like the live, share the live, help us get to 300,000 likes. Let's get up our next guest. He was looking up a literal script. I know, Omar, you're completely right. He was he was Googling. Rico, hi, did you vote for Donald Trump? And Rico ran away. Shocker. I'm so shocked.
Hello?
Was I talking to you yet? No. Can you wait a second? I was kind of doing something. My gosh. The world revolves around you. Okay. Did you vote for Trump?
Absolutely.
Ew.
What?
I said ew. Did I stutter?
Oh no, I thought you said something else. Sorry.
Okay. Why?
I voted for Trump because
Actually, never mind. I don't care.
Well, I wanted to end wokeism, and I think wokeism.
Okay, hold on. I have a question for you. What's wokeism?
Wokeism is, for example, like.
I guess we'll never know. It's crazy. Hey, it says that you've been waiting a long time to come talk to me, Ursi. Hello?
Go ahead, kick me.
I'm not kicking you. What do you mean?
Yeah. You know, your attitude's why you guys lost.
Actually, no, we lost because of ignorant voters like yourself. But
you think this
that's
attitude
unfortunately,
works?
excuse you. It wasn't time for Ursi to speak. It was Johnny speaking time, silly goose. See, that's that ignorance showing. RC, it says that you waited half an hour to come talk to me. But just like AT&T, I'm going to eat up those minutes. Ready? Poof, gone. That's a half hour of your life you're not getting back. Folks, we're going to do a live stream restart. Some people really do think I'm mean. I'm not mean. I'm just Italian. If you know, you know. Can't change it. I love when they're like, we lost because of your attitude, Johnny. Yes, my attitude single-handedly lost us the election. If that's what lost us the election, then goodness gracious, that's just, wow, the power I have. Call me Thanos. That's crazy. Folks, we're going to do a live stream restart real quick. If you haven't already, in the top left corner, hit that follow button and join our family. And Catherine's completely right. Catherine said, you're not mean. You're just from Pennsylvania. You're not wrong. You ever go to Philadelphia? Philadelphia was rated like the most rudest city in the country. But it's not that we're rude. It's just that we don't, we don't take any of that nonsense. That's pretty much it. How dare I single-handedly lose the election? Gosh darn it. Anyway, folks, we're going to do a live stream restart, probably take a little bit, go grab some dinner. If you want to support me and you like some of the stuff that you heard today, my Venmo, PayPal, Cash App are in my bio, but feel no need to do that. If you want, just hit that follow button in the top left corner. That's support enough. But if you do Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App me, please write your username on that so that I can follow you. Some folks will contribute to me, and I'm greatly appreciative for that, but then they don't write their username, so I can't follow them. If you do that, write your username so that I can follow you, please. Hey, massive Charles W for the subscription. Thanks for subscribing, Charles. Folks, we will be back in a few. And we'll do a quick little live stream restart. Hope you all are having a good night. All right. Educating better next time around, because this time around they're going to realize when Donald Trump does not decrease costs, and in fact he increases costs through his economic policy and tariffs, that they're going to have a realization and a very disheartening fact check.
Well, I mean, I can understand that to a certain extent, but because primarily people don't really understand how the economy works. And that's a big part of the problem. The other part of the problem is where they get their information. Where they're getting their information is not where we are, and that's a big problem. They're getting their information from various sources on the internet, online, podcasts, things like that.
Some people don't get information from anywhere. They just get information because they go to the grocery store. They see prices are high. Biden's in office, therefore it's Biden's fault. So we have to.
I get that, but they also don't understand what's going on. Like, for example,
somebody just commented, and I want to point it out real quick. Somebody had just commented as we speak. They said, "You say inflation is low, but prices are still high." Exactly. Inflation is low. It's lower today than what it was under Trump, which means Joe Biden did his job. Right. But corporate greed has led to higher costs, and that's exactly what the user in the comments here doesn't recognize, and they probably voted for Donald Trump. Right. And that was their own ignorance.
Well, there's definitely
that. I always use what you use, Johnny, is how you say, and I've noticed it today when I was buying bread. I'll use Johnny's example first, the Gatorade. When you go to buy a bottle of Gatorade now, it's more expensive, but the bottle is smaller and it's less. That's corporate greed. When I went to buy bread, I used to get more bread in the package, but I'm getting less bread now and it costs more. That's corporate greed. The corporations learned during COVID that they could jack up the prices real high and people would pay because they needed to pay. They needed the food. They were going to pay the money. They kept it high after that. Kamala had a plan. She was going to go after corporate price gouging. She was going to go after these corporations. She was going to hit them where it hurt. They're already under investigation for price gouging. Albertson, Kroger, they are all under investigation. They've all admitted their price gouging. PepsiCo, Nestle, they've all admitted to doing the things of like shrinkflation, like shrinking the product, but upping the prices. That's what's going on. You guys have maybe not been paying attention or not noticed it because all you're seeing right now is higher prices. You're not looking at the reasons behind the higher prices. And I get it because I have kids too. I have to feed my kids. You have to feed your kids. So all we're seeing is where it's hitting us the most, the pocketbooks, but we're not looking deeper into why. All we see is high prices. Biden's in office. Why is this happening? There's a reason behind it, and we just haven't looked hard enough. And I'm sorry that we didn't educate you or we didn't explain it better to you. But that's what it is. That's the reasons behind it, and it's the corporate greed. And they kept the prices high and they shrunk the products. And all we see is what we're paying at the store and who's in office. We didn't look deep into it.
No, you're completely right.
Well, I think also, though, that you also have to understand, you also have to account for the intellectual, the non-curious curiosity, as far as a lot of the people that I know that are MAGA people, they're not, if I go, I will explain things to people. And when I explain things to them, if I can't boil it down into something that is like maybe, I don't know, 2 sentences, I can see the eyes glaze over and they just have no idea what the hell's going on. I've literally seen this because, when you're explaining the economy, you're explaining anything like that, there's no easy way to give an answer in like 3 words or less. It's just not going to happen. But Trump does. And, Trump goes, inflation, go stop it. That's it. And that's all he says. Doesn't say anything else. And they're like, yeah, it's like they just don't get it. They think that he can do everything and he can't. And no president can. But the point is they don't know government, how government works. They don't know any of that stuff.
Someone just said the way I just explained that was condescending and rude.
How is that condescending and rude? You explain it.
People on the panel, was anything I said condescending and rude?
No, they're saying it on purpose.
Yeah, they say that on purpose.
I think, we got to recognize here it's projection. MAGA Republicans, everything is projection. They ran around saying that they were the military party, but then they exploited the graves of soldiers for personal profit. They said that they were the pro-freedom party, but they violated not only the right to choose, not only union rights, but also the Second Amendment. And I'm a Second Amendment Democrat, and they violated my right to bear arms. You look at them with the tone. They ran around spewing election conspiracies. And now the moment that a Democrat, for example, Bob Casey in Pennsylvania, says, I want to recount because I'm 0.3% away from my challenger, they say, you're election denying. That's evil. Okay, you had incited an insurrection.
Right.
And this is
cases.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and this is it too. They say, oh, your tone is god awful. Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Projection.
Yeah.
But Johnny, it was a peaceful protest. It wasn't.
You're so right.
Just another typical day is
You're so right.
Tourists.
What's a couple lost lives of police officers, right? Just a normal
Well, it's
Tuesday.
because they took those people on the tours inside.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what happened.
They walked them
They
in.
were on a tour.
Hey, Johnny, someone wants to know, how did they violate the Second Amendment? Like, this is the problem.
Explain it, Johnny, please. I love when you go into depth on it.
Yeah,
I
not
know,
a problem.
he's so good. He's so good.
He's so good.
Y'all, stop hyping me up. So basically, Donald Trump, because again, I had mentioned earlier that he did a lot by executive order. He didn't go through the legislature. The issue with that, and I've worked on numerous bills, and many of the bills I've worked on have never hit the floor of the House. The reason for that is because they go through numerous committees, one of them being legal counsel. So any bill that I've written, for example, I wrote a bill regarding social media. That bill, there were issues with it surrounding surrounding what was constitutional and what wasn't. So that bill was dropped. Donald Trump, when he signs by executive order, does not go through those committees. He does not go through legal counsel. Nobody is there to tell him that something is unconstitutional. So he signed a ban on bump stocks. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it is a modification to a feature of the Second Amendment. Again, the Second Amendment in its entirety is protected. And because he signed this executive order and didn't go through the chamber, it went up to the Supreme Court, and it was overturned by his own Supreme Court, and they ruled that he is the first modern-day president in history to violate the Constitution, but more ironically, the Second Amendment, the very amendment he was championing. And this is why he didn't campaign much on the Second Amendment during this recent campaign cycle, that being because he would have been slapped down by the media the moment he mentioned it. And so that is how he violated the Second Amendment. He could have avoided that if he was willing to work through Congress. But again, that's not how he operates.
There you have it. The only
he is
modern day president to impede on the Second Amendment. So when everyone said Kamala and Joe Biden were going to take your pew-pews, nope. They weren't.
And that's the projection. Again, it's more projection with them, right? They run around saying Kamala and Joe are coming after your Second Amendment, when in reality, Donald Trump already did. And he's the first modern day president to violate that constitutional right.
Yeah, Corsi, I'm not saying, and I don't think anyone here is saying that would have been the bump stock thing was a bad thing. Actually, yay, Donald Trump, that was, maybe a good thing that he did. But the thing of it is he didn't go through the proper channels.
Right.
He just went executive order, done. That's what he did. He didn't go through the proper channels. He didn't get go through the House, the Senate. He didn't do any of that. He just, so it was unconstitutional and it violated the Second Amendment, and you can't do that. So
See, that's where, and that's important to recognize too, when folks say, like even his chief of staff, for example, called him a fascist in part because of this action. It was unconstitutional to ban bump stocks in accordance to the Second Amendment. That was issue 1. Though also the process of signing this unconstitutional ban by executive order instead of the legislature was also unconstitutional. He was getting far too fond of violating the Constitution. And it's not a matter of whether you agree or disagree with that bump stock ban. If he had gone through Congress and acted in a presidential manner rather than as a fascist, in accordance to how, his own chief of staff calls him, not how I call him, even though he is, somebody in Congress would have said to him, legal counsel or committees would have told him, this is not permitted. Here's what you can do, but this is unconstitutional. And this is what we'll have to look forward to these next 4 years. And I'm sure we'll see his first impeachment in the matter of a few. But
and herein lies the problem of having a car mechanic do your brain surgery.
Correct. Absolutely.
because he's not. See, this is as you know, I have a maggot. There's a maggot sleeping upstairs. He was when they didn't pass the border bill, the maggot upstairs. Well, if they wanted to pass it through and they wanted to push it through by this, why didn't Biden just put it through executive order? I'm like, listen, there's a whole way that things are supposed to be done. And we don't have a president that's just going to sit there and push things through executive order, because we're actually going to do things the lawful way, the right way, so that doesn't get overturned later. So we're going to go through the right way. We don't have, Joe Biden in there just willy-nilly signing things by executive order and trying to push things through. We're trying to do things the lawful right way. I don't understand why MAGA finds that so hard to understand. We're trying to do things the right way, just not going in there all willy-nilly with all the power we could do and just do this.
No, because that's what they want. They want a fascist. That's what they want. They want somebody that's going to go in there and just, assign orders and just say, no, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. That's what they want, and that's who they want. That's who they voted for. They know exactly who they voted for this time. Anybody that says they didn't is lying. They know exactly what. We had 4 years of him. We had 4 more years of him afterwards, yelling and screaming everywhere he could go. The whole time President Biden was in office, just one giant campaign. And, I personally can't understand how even the MAGAs aren't sick of it. They were walking out of his whatever they were, those rallies. You would think by now they would have just been like, you know what, we're done. I can't even just vote Kamala Harris and just get it over with. I'm going to stay home because I can't take any more. I can't take 4 more years of this nonsense. But no, they want 4 more years of it. They want more 4 years of the Real Housewives of DC. They want 4 more years of the Voice, the White House edition. They want 4 more years of every reality show nonsense they can come up with, because this is what they want. They don't care about any of the things that most people that I've talked to, and I know it's anecdotal, it's not scientific, but I see a lot of different people in my life, and it's hysterical because they're just, the level of the lack of curiosity of any of this stuff is just amazing. The first words out of, well, they're all crooks. No, they're not. That's the lazy person's way of politics. They're not all crooks. These people want this. These people want that. You need to know the differences, all this stuff. They don't care. They don't give a shit. All they care about is, what's on the Golden Bachelor, what's on this, what's on that. They don't care about any of it. And that's what I find to be very disheartening. I really do. And I even talk to people who, it turns out later, after the fact, basically didn't say that they voted for Trump, but kind of said they voted for Trump without saying it, who I knew. And here I am, 40 years of experience, history, politics, all kinds of stuff. I was a Republican for 20 years. I know the playbook, and telling them, explaining them all this stuff. And they were like, their buddy at the next desk was like, yeah, but this, look at this was on, look at this video. And I'm going to vote for, it took me literally, there was a video that had Kamala Harris saying something that she was saying like, yesterday's tomorrow, tomorrow is today. And for them, and they're like, well, how do you know they're not lying? I'm I'm like, well, I don't know what to tell you. How do you know they're not lying? They're a trusted news source. Well, the media lies. I'm like, okay, so we're all in the matrix. So just forget everything. Screw it all. Just don't worry about it. It's really not real. Everything's not real, because you can't even argue with these people because they're not coming at you from the same set of reality. That's the major difference. It's like, how do you say to somebody, as I'm showing you this, there's the fake video, here's the real video. It's AP. This is a trusted source. This is what happened. And they're like, yeah, that's just bullshit. That could be bullshit. I'm like, okay.
Right.
You can't answer that.
There is a clear fine line in separation between a MAGA Republican and a Republican. And, MAGA Republicans MAGA Republicans, it seems, after this election feel as though they have some sort of mandate, and that the majority of the country, even though it's not 50%, but still, they think that the majority of voters feel as though Donald Trump was the right man for the job, and that's just not it. There are MAGA Republicans who are blatant conspiracy theorists who do not trust facts and would rather hear something out of the mouth of Nick Fuentes than a analyst or a mathematician or whatever the case be.
Mm-hmm.
And these folks in particular, who lean maybe slightly right, typical Republicans, again, they just wanted to put food on the table. And there is going to be a reality check these coming years when they recognize the prices go up, and we'll be more than ready to welcome them back to the Democratic Party in 4 years. But again, as far as the MAGA Republicans, I truly do hope that they get everything they voted for and more. I truly do. But it's going to be an interesting 4 years.
Those cheaper gas prices, hope you get them. But when your wife is bleeding out in the parking lot and she can't get the healthcare she needs, I'm sorry, but no one's going to help you. When your daughter gets attacked, I'm sorry, but nobody's going to help you. Like there's for every action, there's a consequence, and they're about to, after around now, you're going to be in the finding out stage, because you're not going to be getting those cheaper prices. But all that other stuff that we warned you about is also coming. And you
reap what you sow.
Nick Fuentes lives like 4 blocks away from my mother.
Oh, I am so sorry.
So luckily she's 60. I'm like, just, But my brother's wife lives there. I'm like, stay away. Be careful.
You heard about the overtime thing that that just happened yesterday, right?
Tell me a little bit more.
So they bumped down the exempt. So if you make over a certain amount, you're exempt from overtime pay. So they bumped it down to $39,000, so that anyone who's working a unskilled labor job cannot be eligible for overtime if they're making over $39,000 a year.
Right. And this is something that we see with, again, Donald Trump and the Republican Party time and again. They say, well, we're going to cut your overtime taxes. Well, you won't be making overtime to have that tax cut.
Right. Or
they say, well, we're going to have health insurance pay for your IVF. Well, IVF is going to be banned. It's blatant misleading. Again, I hope that folks pay attention to it over these coming years, because what you noticed yesterday, a lot of folks aren't going to notice, but we're going to have to point it out to them. And that's what we should focus on, again, educating, because a lot of what happened here in the outcome of this election was on a lack of education. Donald Trump had zero plan to cut costs. Donald Trump is going to increase costs, but he lied and turned around and said, you know what, I'm going to cut your costs. And we could have done a better job at explaining how that exactly wasn't the case.
There was so much misinformation. It was hard to dispel all of it constantly, because it was just coming at you from, every direction. So, but you guys need to do a better job at dispelling it.
Sorry, Becky. Sorry.
No,
Did you guys watch Mishi's video she put out today?
So good.
About the demoralization of America and Russia? I posted it to our group, Becca, and I reposted it to my page. I'm sure everyone follows Mishi, but it was a really interesting watch about how Russia's been working on this for 40 years and it's finally happened. Yeah. So
I've barely been on. I'm trying to get the house ready for. I go on Monday to find out when my surgery is and what kind of surgery and how intense it's going to be. So I haven't been on much. But I'll be catching up because I want to see what it is. I want to see what it's all about. I'm trying to take this in little by little too, because if I take in too much and I find out too much, I get a little, it's a little much at times. So, the way I'm like, I watch a couple videos and I take it all in and I get like really upset and then I decompress by watching Johnny or Rudy. Because I like watching him slap down the MAGA because it's so much fun. What kind of surgery? Someone asked. Oh, I have the third surgery on my leg. I was in a car accident last year. So I'm still having surgeries to get surgery to fix my leg. So hopefully I can be back on an ambulance and be back to saving lives.
I think as well, and I'm wishing you so much luck on your surgery as well. Please keep us updated on that.
I will. I just want to be done by it now. But if anybody's in Minnesota and wants to come visit me after surgery and is friendly, let me know.
Tim Wall shows up.
Because I'm like worried about like being here for obvious reasons.
I want to point out one thing regarding our country, right? So the average country lasts about 150 years. The average empire lasts about 250 years. Our country was tested just about 100 years ago. Well, a little less than 100 years ago, but we had the Great Depression, right? And this was the moment in time when our country was supposed to collapse and we persevered. Now, consider yourself an empire and you're being tested again. And, everybody has had a Donald Trump before. Whether it be Germany, whether it be Italy, whether it be Russia. And now it's a matter of, are we going to persevere as the empire we are, or are we going to let ourselves collapse? And I think we will persevere. But again, it's unfortunate that this next test is happening during our lifetime. I'm sure that we all wish it had already happened or was left off to somebody else down the road, but this is our time, this is our fight, and we're gonna have to do whatever we can to defend America.
Yeah, we're gonna be all right. We're gonna do the work. We're gonna be okay. We're not gonna let a fascist dictator ruin us. We've come too far in our country to do that. People come here to be saved from different, like I've said before, my great grandparents came here from Romania to escape the extinction of the Jews that were happening there. I don't think that our great grandparents and grandparents came here just for us to fall to this. So we got through that. We'll get through this. Get through anything. Just have to work together. I hope.
And you know what? If it doesn't work out, we go to Canada. They seem to get their stuff together, so
They don't want us there.
They do want us.
No, but hey, guys, you just pretend you're supposed to be there. Nobody will ask you anything. You're fine. We'll work on the pronunciation of our words, and nobody.
I'm in Minnesota, so
I was just gonna say you're fine.
Actually, I'm only where I'm at in Minnesota. I'm only like 6 hours away from Canada. So, I mean, it could be a day trip for me. I could just, hop over the border and never come back. So
same for me. I just hop over Lake Erie and I'm in Canada. I'll meet you there. Let's go.
Let's go. My family owns a bakery up there. So
wait, do they really? That sounds wonderful.
Yeah, they do. They own a bagel shop.
Oh, I could go for bagels.
I don't know them, but I found them on Ancestry and I looked them up and they own a bagel shop. So I'm just gonna be like, hey, I'm your long lost relative. Can I have a job? half of my bagel, half of my family, when they tried to come to America, they got stopped. They weren't allowed in America because they didn't want Jewish people here. So they got sent to Canada, and half of them stayed in Canada and opened a bakery and became very successful. And the other half came through Montana, and now we're all spread out through the United States. So it's kind of a cool story, actually. I know half of my bagel. I can't talk. I started taking medication today, and I'm missing words all over. So be nice, be gentle. Paramite. It gives me. I can't find my words. So, but yeah, they have
me all the time.
up there.
Who corrected you, Patty? Patty, who are you correcting anybody? I see your profile photos, sir. I mean, respectfully, my first question to you is, are the parents related? The second question is, stop correcting people. That's not nice.
I don't. It's fine. But I did have, you should have seen it earlier before you got here. We had some guy telling us, oh God, what did he say? Something about like my looks. And I'm like, sir, you're very unfortunate looking. Why are you talking to us?
Oh, Becca, you're gorgeous, though. That's the reason that, I mean, come on. Realistic. Let's be very realistic. You're gorgeous, and they know that. That's why they would mock you.
Right.
They're well aware.
Yeah, well, I think liberal people are just really pretty.
I think that's true.
I think we are, because have you seen some of the people on this panel?
Mine's all plastic surgery.
Steve's exceptionally beautiful, I must say.
But yeah, but you guys, if you see Johnny's lives lately, look at his arms.
Stop.
Johnny, I am dead serious. You are getting so jacked. I'm serious.
Listen, I'm telling you now, it's because these, I got to get back into, I used to work out all the time, but then the election, and now I'm getting back into it. I'm excited for my first, I used to meet Trumpers all the time in person leading up until the election. I've taken a break these past couple weeks, of course, but I'm looking forward to my next interaction with one, because again, these Trumpers keep saying, God forbid I meet you in person, Johnny, in my live stream. And I'm like, girl, you're going to be real. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. They wouldn't say shit to you, because I was noticing, I was like, the other day I was like looking at, I was like, oh.
So somebody said to me the other day on my live, they were like, you wouldn't say what you're saying to me in person. And I was like, oh, tell me the time and place. I absolutely would.
Yeah, they would not say it to your face. Not at all. Oh, and I just wanted to let you know, I'm probably going to be out your way in a few months.
Oh, in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, I'm going to Reading. I'm going to meet my cousin for the first time.
Oh, Taylor Swift is from Reading.
When are you going to Reading?
It'll be after Christmas time. I'm like everyone knows, because I've been talking about it so much, I'm on a self-discovery course. I'm meeting because my dad's side of the family has always been a mystery, because like I said, they came here, changed their names, no one knows where we are. So I've been doing Ancestry to find my family members.
Oh, that's cool.
And I found a bunch of my family members are from New Jersey and Reading, Pennsylvania, and Boston.
The Pennsylvania Ancestry, that's phenomenal.
Yeah, so I'm going out there to meet them. And then I found a few of my family members that are in California. And last night I talked to somebody from Mexico.
Oh, wow. Very cool.
Yeah.
Your family's really, I mean, that's an amazing ancestry.
We are all spread out. And I have like 2 or 3 people right now who are, that I've been talking to in Israel. And then I just found out from them that there's like 10 more of us in Israel that don't have ancestry. So I literally have family everywhere. It's insane how much family there is. I have right now on Ancestry, I have over 21,000 matches.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
Yeah.
I think I got like 2.
Yeah, no. I mean, they're not like, don't get me wrong, they're like 5th, 6th cousins, obviously, but I mean,
it's a big deal.
We're Mexicans too. Mexicans have big families, my dad's side of the family, my great grandparents they had like 14 kids. Like, I want to do mine because I need to find out. And I'm like, he is okay. I told you we're Jewish, right? We're Jewish. His grandma though is from Palestine. So he's trying to disprove me of a bunch of different stuff. So he's like bound and determined that he's doing his DNA and he's going to disprove me that like we're not really Jewish. I'm like, I have it. It says right here that we are. It says right here. He's like, that's not a thing. I'm like, it says right here we are. You're pretty Jewish. I'm like, that curly hair, that dark skin. I was like, that's Jewish. He's like, that's not my Jewish side. That's not my Jewish side. I'm like, I'm pretty sure.
18 also makes it a felony in Florida to not report the undocumented migrants your friend's hiring. And this man, when I tell you, he was horrified.
Oh my God.
Absolutely horrified. And it was just, honestly, I think it was one of my favorite moments of my live stream. And I kept the clip. I do plan on reporting it up because, I mean, you know, why not? If they're going to be petty, then I'll be petty too. So
as well,
I am getting the paperwork for it. I'm more than happy to do my civic duty and my public responsibility, you know?
Oh, yes. I love it when they tell them themselves.
Yeah. I could not believe he literally on video on his personal account. Like, come on. You might as well just said you robbed a bank. Like, what?
They always end up telling on themselves. Hey, you guys want to see my new decorations that really upset MAGA this morning?
Oh, perfect. Perfect. Oh, and I see a cat.
They're staying up. Oh yeah, that's my old lady cat.
Oh, you're so cute. Hello.
That's a big girl. That's a big girl. That's a big ass cat. What are you feeding that cat? What are you feeding that cat?
We both gained weight.
You've been feeding that cat Kit Kats, haven't you?
The cat's telling y'all to shut up.
Becca.
The cat's like, shut up or she's going to put me on a diet.
I have put her on a diet. She just keeps like...
I need a close-up. Can you get a little bit closer?
She is very cute.
Maybe she's not a fat cat and she's just a really skinny lion. Like maybe she's just a really tiny lion.
She's really fluffy. She's like extremely fluffy. She doesn't look that big when she's completely like lion shaved down. But we also live in Minnesota, so when it starts getting cold, she gets abnormally fluffy.
She looks unbothered.
She's an unbothered queen. It's fine.
She's very old too. She's like 10. And she gets lion shaved in the after winter. I will not shave her in the winter because it does get. I mean, we have nights here where it gets -50.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So she's very big and she's very fluffy right now, and she's very. We sleep down here now, so she sleeps with me at night. So I'm definitely now a cat lady, and I'm okay with it. It's better than a husband. And that's the MAGA in the chat. I'm a cat lady. I love my cat more than I love my husband.
There you go.
I mean, listen, I'll tell you right now. I have a puppy, and I'll tell you what. This is a COVID puppy. I've had him since COVID, and so we have a bond that I've never had with a puppy or anybody before. I'll tell you now, like if I've actually been debating getting back into relationships and whatnot. This puppy's going to decide who I like. Like, if the puppy doesn't like him, I don't like him. It's, you know.
Well, they're good judges of character, so.
Hey, that should be true in life with anybody, any relationship. If my dogs don't like them, nope. Mm-mm.
Yep. Oh, yeah. I found that too. I had dogs all my life, and until my last one. My last one, unfortunately, she lived to be about 12, and then she passed away. But she was like the best one. I just haven't not had it. I don't have any desire to get another one. It's very weird, but she was fantastic. When my wife and I were dating, She was a little jealous at first, but she was never nasty or anything. She's border collie, so very smart. And then after a little bit, she was great. And that's when I knew. I was like, all right, well, the dog likes her. It's like, so they are good judges of character, because I've dated in the past, and like there have been times like the dog just did not like the person. And it turned out, yeah, there was a reason. It was definitely a reason.
This cat does not like Maggot.
Oh.
Like, she sees him and she just like gives him a glare. She's like,
aw.
and she whenever he like stands up, she like runs away. She does not like him, although she doesn't like most people. So she doesn't like. She doesn't like men. She doesn't. She's like a woman cat. She likes women, although she's also older, so she's kind of.
She's so cute.
She's like, why are you bothering me?
My puppy is actually, and originally it was a joke, but I don't think it's a joke anymore. Like an inside family joke. I genuinely think he is a Trumper. I mean, so his favorite color is red, which odd. I don't know if it's the hue of gray or whatever the case be. Loves if it's a red ball, doesn't matter. He wants that. He has his favorite toy. I had bought a toy of Donald Trump and Joe Biden. And I was like, pick the toy, and he hates the Joe Biden one, loves the Donald Trump one. I don't get it. I'm like, what went wrong? I thought the indoctrination was going so well.
What's the breed of dog?
He's a Bichon. Well, he's got a little bit of everything in there. I mean, there's a little bit of corgi. He's got a little tiny baby legs. He's a little all over the place. So much like how a puppy should be. He's a little all over. But it's that Trumper thing. I don't know. I thought I raised him better than that. he used to. I mean, I should have known something was wrong, because I used to take him canvassing, and anytime we'd walk up to the door of a Democrat, he would just get so angry. And again, I didn't understand why, but now I'm starting to think he genuinely is a Trumper. So he might have to go through indoctrination again, just as we put all of our children through.
When I was telling people my son was in college today, they were saying I was having him indoctrinated. I'm like, yeah, by sending him to college. Like, you indoctrinated him. You're indoctrinating him. You sent him to college. I'm like, yeah.
Well, don't want to.
That's why.
Don't want to have to send him to West Virginia after one of the or Oklahoma. I think what was Oklahoma rated? I think out of intelligence, it was 49. Number 49. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Did you see they're putting Bibles in the schools now there?
Yeah.
Guys.
Yep.
I asked people that today in my life too. I'm like, would you be okay with the call of prayer? They're like, no.
Fiercy just wrote indoctrinated. I love that.
Indoctrinated. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I'm proud of my indoctrination. It was a solid. Originally, it was just going to be 4 years, but then I spent 8 years in indoctrination courses, and I'm just so grateful for it. I mean, I've come to learn all about DEI and how we must DEI everything from the cereal you eat to the way you put a lip balm on, just everything, just DEI everything.
I really hate that. They get so bad when you put your lip balm on in your lives.
I think that's just the funniest thing. So the funny thing. So originally, I don't even really use lip balm. But I started using lip balm on my live streams because it makes them so mad. I got a pink lip balm that's tinted.
That's so awesome.
But I'm gonna double down. In one of the upcoming lives, I'm gonna whip out a full-blown lipstick and just completely trigger them. I just think it's so funny because it just makes them so mad.
Can you wear
it's just
eyeliner like JD Vance? Please.
Okay. I'll do it.
The eyeliner would work. I think that would work well.
I just start putting it on at live. I mean, you listen, everybody, wear what you want to wear. You do you. I just think it's funny how much it triggers them. So I'm more than happy to throw it on.
They get very upset.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they really do. They are like, they don't, they hate when people like talk about looks and like body shame Trump, but they get like super like, but they're the first ones to say like, why are you putting like, why are you like when people wear when guys wear like nail polish, why are you wearing nail polish, why are you putting lip balm on, why are you insulting our looks, but you get mad when we say anything about Trump? Calm down.
Right.
Well,
Like,
Diana
stop
just
it.
said it best too. On Halloween, I had lost a bet with Tashika, and so I had to dress up as like a male-ish version of Wednesday Addams, and so I did my nails for it. I painted them black, which I'll tell you what, ladies, I have no idea how you do that. That took me 2 hours, and it was god awful, and I don't know how you do that. But I'll tell you now. You know, I put it on. I couldn't even get it off for like a week, but. It made them so mad. The Trumpers in the channel were so deeply upset that my nails were painted. And honestly, you know what? I really think one of these lives, I'm just going to go on and start doing my nails. I'm going to throw a mascara. I'm going to do the whole shebang. Just, they'll start blowing up.
Oh my God. If you ever get together, like with if you ever, like if you and Tashika are ever like in the same vicinity, you should do a live where she's doing your makeup.
Yep.
Oh, that's actually that could be. They would hate that, and I would love that they would hate that. So I should do that.
And while she's doing your makeup, you can talk to Trumpers as she's doing your makeup. I'm telling you.
I would love to come and do your hair and your makeup while you're
Donnie,
on
you got
live.
great hair.
Well, that's the Jewish curls. It's easy to do. I just wake up. Just get out of bed.
But
or
yeah,
you just show up in full drag and see how they love that. They would love that.
And read a storybook.
I'd probably send you like 10 galaxies just to see you do that.
Read a
storybook.
Read a storybook. They'll be exploding on the other side.
we love upsetting MAGA. It's so much fun because it's so easy.
So easy.
You know, and it'd be fun to do it is on Inauguration Day.
No, even better. You have to have a red, white, and blue theme and be like the American flag. They would lose their minds.
Oh yeah, that'd be funny. That would be funny. The American flag.
I wish I was in Pennsylvania right now.
Trumpers also hate when two things actually. If I wear my Barbie shirt, they hate that. I have like a pink Barbie shirt, and then if I wear like, you know, I get my style because I come from rural America, so my style kind of matches with theirs. They hate that. Like if I walk up in like my We the People shirt or like my Freedom shirt or whatever, they hate it. And again, I love that they hate it, so I do it more often.
Yeah, it's the best way to do it. It's the best revenge.
I love that. I love that. Oh my gosh! Before you guys start watching, did I not tell you all the time he's the best?
I'm not the best. If anything, you know, I think. Actually, I don't know who really is the best. Who is the best?
No, I'm saying like
There's so many debaters.
You're
the best. You're the best.
Yeah.
I think we all agree.
Shucks.
Johnny.
I just like the entertainment portion. The education is,
You're so funny.
But
Yeah,
I love
like
Johnny's-
I just like the faces that you make and everything, and like it's just
Johnny's snark is just on point. Let me tell you.
it's like another.
His
it
snark
is another
is just
level.
the best.
I appreciate that. I think all in all, I am lucky in the sense where, you know, I've come to realize that Trumpers are more willing to engage with me based off of how I look. And then in part, how I act, they seem to keep coming back. But I know for a fact, if anybody else who looked a little bit different than me, who maybe didn't have the sleeve of tattoos, or maybe wasn't a guy with a beard, for example, they wouldn't be so inclined to keep coming back and getting smacked down. But hey, as long as they keep coming back, I'm more than happy to slap them down. At this point, I think it might be a kink for them or something, but
Yeah, I love when you're like,
Probably.
so where are we going? Are we going to Panera?
For so many of these folks, they're absolutely closeted. I just, the closets class. Like, I've had my journey. They got to figure out their journey, because I'll tell you now, there's, I mean, there was a grown man who was complimenting me far too much. To the point where it was just I've never actually been uncomfortable. Like, but that was bad. I'm like, and he was like, I have a wife. I'm like, the fact you're getting so defensive after trying to compliment everything from my teeth to like
That movie all the time. I understand, Marissa.
Well, we have enough of those in the Midwest. She doesn't need to be watching them on TV.
Oh, Ren just commented. Ren, I absolutely love doing that. When somebody waits, because I have a program that'll let me know when, like, how long somebody's been waiting in my live stream to come talk to me. And so, like, you'll say, oh, that they were waiting 40 minutes. So if they're a Trumper and I just feel a little generous, I'll have them come on up and I'll save them time by wasting the 40 minutes they spent waiting to talk to me and just kick them right off.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. Ren, I agree. I love that. That's my favorite.
Yeah. Whenever you do that, I just, oh my God, it's hilarious. The guy today already knew too. He knew.
Oh, he knew. He said it. He was like, you're going to say I've been waiting here an hour and you're going to kick me, right? I was like, yep, goodbye. I love it.
See you later.
Well, it depends, right? Because whoever, if they're like-minded, if they're left-leaning, if they're a Democrat, if they voted for Kamala, whatever the case be, if they waited the longest, I'll bring them up first. If it's a Trump supporter, the longer they wait, the less likely I am to bring them up. And that is on purpose. That is just to anger them. Somebody could join, and if they just joined 5 seconds ago, they will get up before the person who's been waiting 2 hours. And that is on purpose.
Oh my God. Oh I just have to say, the Fluttershy in the comments is my little, and she loves you.
Oh, wait, okay. Ren has me cracking up now. Ren goes when I tell him that they have an accent and they don't have an accent. Yes, Ren, we have the same vibe. I agree. I think that's the funniest. I love when they have no accent. I'm like, I can't understand you. Your accent's too thick. They hate that. You got to make them self-conscious,
Oh, Linz wants to come up. Hold on. I'll let her up. I'll let Linz up.
Fluttershy. I love you too, Fluttershy.
Yes,
I'm gonna go out.
Fluttershy is the baby of the family, and Johnny is definitely she adores you. She has listened to many of your lives with me.
Oh, I hope that I've kept it entertaining or at least enjoyable.
Yeah, yep. Ma'am, you need to get to bed because we're picking you up early tomorrow at your friend's house. So get to bed. Get to bed. I'm not going to be arguing with you in the morning when I'm picking you up at your friend's because I'm not missing the Viking game. So get to bed. I know you made a cake. Oh my God, this is embarrassing. I just let Linz up, or did I not let Linz up?
I think you have to change your format.
I'm going to step down. I'm going to go to sleep. It's late here. It's 2:00.
Okay. All right.
Good night, guys.
Bye.
Enjoyed it. Take care. Bye-bye.
Have a good one. Nice to meet you.
Same here. Bye-bye.
But everyone wants to say hi to you, Johnny.
I like saying hi to folks.
You're like a celebrity around here.
No, I just cause issues.
I'm. You have no idea how jazzed I am that you came up here today.
Well, thank you for letting me come
Okay,
on.
here's Linz.
Oh my God, am I on?
You are.
Oh my God, seriously? Okay, so, oh my God, I didn't expect to get on. But Johnny, I have to tell you, I love you. I've been listening to your lives for like 3 months now. I love you. I love you so. Oh my God, I'm going to cry.
Oh, I love you right back. Stop. Now I'm going to cry.
Dude,
now there's just going to be a ton of us crying. Why are we
Oh my God, I love you. I love you. And you know what? I love it when I send you money and you're like, oh, Lindsay just sent me money to tell you that I hate you.
Oh, I love doing that.
Okay, so I don't even know why. I just jumped on this live because I saw it, but I I really wanted to get your guys' viewpoints on, because I'm originally from Hawaii. I'm Polynesian. I'm Tahitian and Maori born. So, I mean, you guys have seen like the whole thing with the Tahitians and the Maori lady with the haka, right?
Oh my god, I watched that over and over and over and over again because it's just
Right.
so
So
good.
now there's like this whole trend going around that these people are like, oh, I don't want to call into work. And they're using the trend and they're like, oh, what is your guys' thoughts on that? Because I think it's kind of gross.
I completely agree with you. I saw a couple, like it's on like the CapCut.
Like
oh, this is
Parliament
how-
or something?
Yeah. So
Okay.
they're using it as a cap cut. Oh, I don't want to go to work, so this is how I'm acting. Or I'm calling in sick, so this is how I'm acting. And it's
So
disgusting.
I'm doing the haka?
Yeah.
I don't
So
like
I'm
that.
like slightly kind of like commenting on things
Yeah.
here and there, but like I just kind of wanted to see you guys' input on.
No, I agree.
Yeah,
it's gross. It's terrible. Like
I agree. I think that first off, it was such a beautiful moment, and to take it and to turn it into something comedic, or for it to be as though it be a joke, I think that that's god awful, and I absolutely hate that. I've noticed those videos, and every time I see them, I go into the share button and press not interested so that it stops feeding me those videos. I'm not a fan of that trend. I think it's disappointing to take something that was such a fierce and inspiring moment and turn it into something that's like a joke or a trend. I think that's unacceptable.
it's terrible. It is. But I voted for Kamala.
Thank
Johnny,
you.
just so you know. I
Thank
did.
you for
And I'm
doing
just
that.
as heartbroken as you, but it is what it is. So, of course, obviously, you know, this is from New Zealand, and I am of Maori culture, so I am a U.S. born citizen, so I get it. But I do have Maori blood, so to see this, it's like it's another hit. You know, it's on top of Kamala losing, it's another hit. So I just want to know, what do you guys think? How do you know, to address these people who are doing this?
Yeah.
I would just walk up to him and say, stop trying to steal things from my culture. You don't even know what it means. You don't even know what it was used for. You
They're
don't
using
know
it as
nothing.
like being angry about something. I'm like, she was being passionate. Like that's just, I mean, Lindsay, you probably know better than me, but that wasn't
Well, the haka is a war call. When they were,
there's different types of hakas, right, Linz?
Right, there is. So there's different. So the one that she's saying she's saying basically, I live, I die. And so she's calling, you know, her people to, and it's just gross. Like it's terrible for people to be using it as a trend. It's terrible.
Right. I will say, you know, the way that I would go about it would probably get me removed immediately from the platform. So I won't describe how I would go about it. But, you know, however you go about it, I'm sure would be more appropriate than what I would do. So I will say again, you know, I think it's deeply disappointing that people are taking what I found to be such an inspiring moment and also a unifying moment as something that should be made into comedic relief. And I just think it's disgusting behavior, and I really truly hope and pray that trend, it's not even, I mean, the fact it's considered a trend when in reality it's just mocking culture, I hope that ends immediately.
It is mocking culture, and you know, if you look closely, I'm sorry to say it, but it's a lot of white people who are the ones who are doing it. You know, it is, and that's just like, don't take my culture and just make it a mockery, because it's not. Because the haka, it's something like, I'm from Hawaii originally, so like I am, like I have other cultures too, but I am mostly Hawaiian.
The haka is such a beautiful, beautiful.
White people ruin so many things. I'm sorry.
So many things. Thank you. So many things.
We almost ruined surfing in Hawaii.
Ugh. So many things. It's just let's leave it alone. It doesn't have to even be like, even if you want to look at it at that, fine. but just leave it alone. Don't turn it into a trend. And so I woke up this morning and I saw it, and I was just like, I'd commented on someone's post, and I was like, this is just really gross. And like, you guys understand it's a haka. This is a very cultural significance. This is a war chant. Like, and even Hawaii, we don't have the haka, but we have a version of the haka, and we look at it as the same thing. Like, you don't mess around with that. You just don't. That's out of bounds.
That's part of the Maori religion. Or I don't want to say religion, but it's part of conjuring gods, and it's like I don't know. I think it's so cheesy. Why don't people?
It's so cheesy. That's basically the only way you can describe it. It's cheesy. It's again. I don't want to say it because I am white passing, but it is another white way of just taking advantage of another culture and making it funny. And it's not cool. It's not funny at all.
No, it's not. I'm sorry. Sometimes I really hate that I'm white. I really do.
I think what we were talking about in our group, though, it's funny because like we want something to wear, like, and signal us, and like, we're not that kind of white. We're not that kind of white.
I know. I used to say that all the time. I'm like, I'm not white. And my parents and my cousins be like, yeah, you are white. And then I'd be like, no, I'm brown white. I'm like the brown skin chicken, not the white skin chicken. But no, it's just been really wearing on me today, just seeing that. So I was really happy to see you guys live, and I joined, not really thinking I would get on, because Johnny, I get on your live all the time, and I love you. But
love you right back.
But I'm just glad that you guys are on the same page, because I feel like, but maybe I'm just on the wrong side of TikTok. I don't know.
No, you're on the wrong side. Same with me. That's why I kept going into the shares and changing it to not interested so that the algorithm would stop feeding me. Just know that a lot of folks stand behind you on this, and you might feel like you're alone and you keep seeing it. But
Johnny, there's a lot of people who lost when Kamala lost. It was not just Latinos. It was us. It was all of us Polynesians. We lost too. Voted for Biden. I voted for Kamala. I took the and I see it a whole different way. And it hurts my heart when I see people from back home that are like, Trump, Trump, Trump. And they have no idea. They have no idea. But they're lucky because they're stuck in the middle of the ocean in Hawaii. It really doesn't affect them. It really doesn't.
Right.
So it's just,
I think, go ahead.
Yeah, so that's it. I mean, it just we're so in Hawaii, we're so behind the times that it doesn't affect us. It doesn't. Like, I
don't think you guys are behind the times. I think you're sort of in a bubble.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Maybe you're right. It's not behind that. It's a bubble. Like music, trends, everything comes late for us.
It is.
It's just, and I'm kind of still stuck back there. But to look at my family and when they're like, Trump, 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 it's disgusting to me, because I'm like, dude, like I look at my aunties and my cousins and I'm like, Trump don't even like you. Like, shut up. Trump don't even like you. Like, why are you guys even acting like this? He doesn't even like you guys. But it is what it is, and Hawaii will always be a blue state for probably the rest of my life. But I have daughters. I have 3 daughters. I have 2 sons. My 2 sons, my oldest son, he's 17, and he also does not like Trump.
Smart, but you raised him right.
I did. I raised him right, and
See,
I have
that's that
3 daughters.
indoctrination we're talking about. You're doing it right.
No, it's because they've been listening to Johnny on TikTok for the last 2
Oh,
months.
I'm so sorry.
So my daughters, they love Johnny and Dean. They love Johnny and Dean. They're always like, "Where's Johnny? Where's Dean?" Every time I pick them up from school. So, but you know what? I did. I raised my daughters right. I had my kids young. So, but anyways, I wanted to thank you guys because this has been really great. Johnny, I love you, but I'm gonna let you guys go. But
It was so nice to meet you.
Okay,
It was so nice to meet you.
Have a good night.
Love you
okay?
right back. Have a good night.
Okay, love you guys. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.
But yeah, this is like what I'm talking about. We have so many people who are, even in Hawaii, they're feel, well, she's here. She's even in Hawaii. They're gonna feel this now. I was talking to someone was in Hawaii, I don't know if it was your live, Johnny, who was saying that stuff is so expensive in Hawaii now because everything has to be imported, and the tariffs are going to make things.
It's always been that way in Hawaii. It's always been really expensive because everything does have to be imported, but except for coconuts.
Hear me out. Hear me on this. We take Hawaii. We do a little. We could work on the technology, shift the islands into the country, and then we cut off Florida, and then we just send it on its way. What do we think?
Oh my god!
What are our
Can we cut off
thoughts?
California too? Can we cut off California and send it that way, and then all those could join up? The blue ones.
You just see like an empty slot where West Virginia used to be.
Texas too.
Right.
God. And I love the people of the Texas people, because I know they tried so hard, but oh Lord, Ted Cruz is
I know. Yeah, I can't. Ted Cruz and Trump are just, it's beyond me. Why? Just why?
Although his daughter is quite iconic. Did you see her on election night?
Yes. I love that.
No, I didn't see her. What was she doing?
Her dad was doing his acceptance speech, and he said, and I hope, let's hope Donald Trump gets elected again. And her mom started clapping, and she turned to her mom and she goes, "Don't clap for that. Don't stop that. Don't clap."
I love that. That was an amazing viral moment. Good for her.
She made such a cringy face.
It was the face that did it. Like, you didn't even have to know what she said.
Yeah,
her and Claudia Conway would probably get along.
Yeah, just the face she made, and she was just like the whole.
Where has Claudia Conway gone? I haven't seen her on this app, and maybe I just don't come in contact with her.
She's trying to rebuild her relationship with her parents.
Who is?
Like, why? I don't know. Look what MAGA did to my garage.
Oh my. Well, you know what? At least he's not signing the flags. Donald Trump does that.
Big stupid midlife crisis car that he had to have.
Oh my gosh.
That is now costing him a fortune, and he's like, I have to put gas in it. I have to put premium gas in it. I'm like, you're the one that bought it.
The folks who bought the Cybertruck,
Was that
I
a
will
Highlander?
never.
Mercedes 4MATIC.
Oh, never mind.
I don't know why he bought it. It's not like he goes anywhere in it.
The Cybertrucks that are made after Elon Musk's torso.
Oh my god, that was hysterical.
What was?
The Cybertruck is the same exact shape as Elon Musk's torso.
Oh, I saw that. Oh my god, those things are ugly.
Hysterical.
Does he have like AI plates in there? Like, why does it look like that? Like, it is the weirdest
literally,
thing.
I think he honestly may have put technology in there. Like,
for real, it's so weird.
It is really weird. Listen, I get there's always that one person who listens in to call me old fashioned, but there's always that one Trumper who listens in and is like, I thought Democrats aren't supposed to like make fun of people. Like, no, I don't do the whole when they go low, we go high thing. That ain't gonna work for me. Elon Musk has built like a Cybertruck, and I'm gonna call him out for it. That's just life, you know. You want to?
Oh, Johnny, you missed the last live. I was mean. Like I had just. Me and Becca were both had it with the MAGA men, and we left Becky's live to come over here. But I was. I realized I was.
We were like, whose live are we going to go to now? Whose page are we going to use? And I'm like, well, we can use mine because I always get the most traffic because the MAGA really like to come over here. They don't like me. They're
so mean.
I get the most diabolical, nastiest comments in my lives when I try to do them. Like,
they say the meanest things.
Okay, but that's because you're gorgeous.
Thank you.
No, but like seriously, like if you know, it hurts their brain when they see a gorgeous woman talking on behalf of common sense, like freedom, equality, justice, like things that they don't believe in. They want to hate you, but it's tough to hate you because you're gorgeous and smart.
Exactly.
You know, that makes them mad.
They're like, thank you. My eyebrows are actually not mine. Thank you. These are tattooed on. I went through the 90s. I'm a daughter of the 90s. So I thought it was really cool in the 90s to pluck them all off and draw them back on. And then my mom kept telling me that they were never going to grow back. And just to spite her, I kept doing it. And she was right.
Did you shave yours? I did.
No, I just used to pluck them off and wax them off. And they never came back. So I had to microblade. These are microbladed on.
You didn't do the Vanilla Ice like shave lines. Like literally, I'm missing half of my eyebrows on both sides from shaving them off in middle school. No. I'm almost embarrassed to admit that, but it's real life.
Nope, I just paid a bunch of money to a very wonderful woman who is also actually she's a paramedic as well, so she gave me a really good deal.
They look good.
And
they do look really good.
Thank you.
They don't look.
They did them on for me.
They're not the.
Yeah, I mean they're not like some of them are, but most of them are just microbladed.
Oh.
Diana, microblading. Get microblading done. It's amazing. It's so wonderful. You'll love it.
They look so good.
Yeah. Yeah. The 90s was a really rough time.
Yeah. Agreed.
I got married in the 90s. It was kind of a fun time.
I had my first baby in the 90s.
Me too.
I wasn't even a twinkle in my father's. I wasn't.
Wait, how old is Johnny? Because he always lies in your lives. So
I'm in my 20s, but I can't say my exact age just because of issues with like legit stalkers on the on the app. But I am in my early 20s. That's all that I can say though.
He's in his 50s.
You're so
baby.
I love that
He's
for
a
you.
baby.
He just has great skincare.
Great. I love telling folks when they come in and they're like, "How old are you?" I'm 50. They say, "You don't have any kids?" No, I have 12 with all different women. They're like, "I didn't even know you roll that way." I'm like, "Me either," but I guess I do now.
Yeah. I when I first started talking to you, I was like, wait a minute. I was like, this guy's old enough to vote because you look young. But but that's a compliment. Take it as a compliment because
I do.
People like my son. People tell my son he still has the chubby cheeks, so he still has the baby face. So people always tell him he looks like he's 12, and he gets so offended.
Listen, I can say
I'm 20. I'm like, yes, but you look like you're 12. He's like, it's just because I have a fat face.
you got to grow out the beard. The beard changes everything. You know,
He can't grow facial hair to save his life.
Microblading.
Yeah. Well, the boy can't even pay for gas, so
you can really say whatever you want to a Trump supporter, and they will believe it unless it's a fact. So, if I tell them that the inflation rate is 2.1%, which is a fact, they don't believe it. If I tell them that I spent 12 years studying at the Whittemore School of Law, and so I'm qualified to tell them about Law and Order, they immediately are like, okay, really? It's that easy?
Oh my God, they're so gullible though. They will. Oh my gosh, okay. I live with one, so I can attest to how much how uninformed they are. This man will believe anything Fox News tells him, and I do mean anything. So yes, but when I tell him facts, like actual facts, he does not believe me. I will tell him like he did not know about the Budapest Memorandum.
Oh, that's wild.
Mm-hmm.
When they run around talking about foreign policy and they don't know about that actually does, that gives me so much fear.
Johnny, we had a guy come on last week and he tried to tell us he has a degree in economics and he was trying to explain tariffs to us. And I'm like, well, can you explain Smoot-Hawley? And he goes, well, I'm not familiar with that. And I was like, you do not.
Yeah, he said he had a good degree in economics.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he did, but
No, he did not, because he would have known what that was. Come on, they taught that in what, junior year?
They don't know what anything is. They don't know it, and I hate.
They taught that in high school.
Bueller?
Yes.
I mean,
come on now.
Anyone?
Bueller. Like no, they know.
Like, what's that?
Well, it cracks me up when they start with the, all the other countries love Trump and they respect him so much. And it's so funny because, like, I know for a fact, like, I was in France and these people from the Netherlands said, "Are you voting for him?" And I'm like, oh God, no. And this was the first time, so it's like, and everywhere I was in Europe at that time, which was right before the 2016 election, it was, are you voting for him? Because he's a really funny guy. He's not very smart, and it's like.
He's not very smart. Oh, God.
Yeah.
No.
So he's just basically the laughing stock of the entire world, except for here.
What country has a float of him naked? Like the big baby float? Like, what country is that?
Oh, that was London.
That was London.
In England, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
That was hysterical.
The picture of him at the G7 where they were all laughing at him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, it's tough to imagine where MAGA Republicans find the audacity to act as though they have some sort of moral superiority when it comes to their candidate. I mean, they act as though Donald Trump is respected, but we know very well he's not. Vladimir Putin doesn't respect him. Vladimir Putin dog walks him, and that's why Vladimir Putin wants him to be president. You look at Kim Jong-un.
Absolutely.
I mean, consider these two instances, right? Donald Trump visits North Korea. Kim Jong-un took photos of Donald Trump saluting a North Korean soldier. He's currently using it as war propaganda. That's not respect. You look at Vladimir Putin. Donald Trump wins the election. Donald Trump said, I just called Vladimir Putin and we had a great conversation. Vladimir Putin came forward a day after the election and said, I never spoke to Trump, he lied, and then posted photos of Melania Trump's modeling nude images all over Russian state television.
Yes, he did.
I just love that for him.
Millions of people saw it. And I'm like, that's not respect. They don't respect Donald Trump. They like Donald Trump because they can dog walk him.
Exactly, because he's petty. He's petty, and anything to make him look good.
Well, look what happened with Bibi when Bibi was here on business. Like, they were so close to a ceasefire deal, and he went and had dinner with Trump at Mar-a-Lago, and the next day decided against the ceasefire.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Why was he not charged with that? Like, he just does whatever he wants.
Because they can't prove it, because they both denied it. even though we all know it happened, they both denied it. There's not enough proof. But I will always say, and my Israeli friends will disagree with me, but I will always say that what happened to the hostages that were found later on, like Hirsch Goldberg, who was an American citizen, I will always say it is Trump's fault because he talked Netanyahu out of the ceasefire that would have brought them home.
Yeah.
He did things to purposely hurt us, such as the border bill, such as the ceasefire. He did stuff that hurt and unalived people on purpose to be able to run on it. That's what he did. That is absolutely some diabolical, underhanded shit that people don't even realize when they voted for him. Like, he ran on unaliving people. He ran on hurting people.
Here's such a good example. So somebody just commented and said, see, it's funny because Putin specifically said he could dog walk all over Biden, not Trump. Right. So Vladimir Putin uses a beautiful psychology to get into the mind of Trump voters. And by this, look at actions rather than words. Putin says that he could dog walk Biden instead of Trump. So you would want Trump instead of Biden, but he could dog walk Trump, not Biden, right? It's reverse psychology. And this speaks louder through his actions. For example, Donald Trump could not negotiate a deal to bring home one U.S. Marine, Paul Whelan. Vladimir Putin, Donald Trump, they could not bring home that U.S. Marine. Joe Biden did, because Putin couldn't dog walk him. You look at the bounties on the heads of our soldiers. Donald Trump was too scared to hold Vladimir Putin accountable for it. They had a 2-hour meeting and Donald Trump didn't mention it once. Biden did. So again, when Trump says, I could dog walk Joe Biden, he's saying that because he can't. He can dog walk Trump, but if he tells you he could dog walk Trump, you won't want Trump, and you're the American voter, so he's not going to tell you that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he wants Trump's weak, pliable, bribable, but
Kimberly, Trump has to fix the mess that Biden-Harris administration got our country in.
Oh, goodness gracious. Mess? Kimberly.
You want to come up and tell us what mess that is?
Kimberly,
we've been sent good weather.
Kimberly, you look like somebody... I can't put my finger on it.
20 miles of rough road is what Kimberly looks like.
I said something like that the other day.
I think I just saw Beetlejuice.
I said something like that to Johnny the other day, but he couldn't say it out loud on live because
there were some things. Yeah, I love when folks send messages and I'm like, I can't say this, but I want to so bad. Like, listen, there are some things I would love to say. Like first and foremost, never mind. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to choose kindness.
I'm just petty like that. I'm sorry.
Maybe mom, Tori wants to go after you next.
Remember the tutorial I told you ladies about earlier? That's who that was about. The lady with her really dry skin that doesn't wear moisturizer and uses her hands to put her foundation on and doesn't blend it.
Baby mom said, because you don't agree with someone, you go after their looks. What is wrong with you people? Well, 2 facts here, baby moms. First off, change your name. Secondly, let's understand something first and foremost. It's not what's wrong with us. It's what's wrong with you, right? You're the one advocating to strip away the right to choose in its entirety without providing women with a single policy that'll economically benefit them after you force them to give birth. That is not pro-freedom. That is anti-humanity. That is anti-freedom. That is anti-equality. That is anti-justice. I mean, what's wrong with us? No, again, it's what's wrong with you. You're the one advocating for stripping away, the freedoms of middle-class Americans, union workers, veterans, stripping away Social Security of elderly Americans. And this is the fact. And again, I think at the core of what's wrong with you, you need to look no further than the looks. I'm not questioning your looks, and nor am I judging anybody based off of their looks. I certainly don't need to do that when you show your blatant ignorance on full volume. Going after your looks would be like, what, a side quest? I'd rather go for the main event. Let's talk about how you got two brain cells and they can't clack into each other to create a spark.
Yeah, there it is. He said it more eloquently than I could.
And I was the one who said she looks like 20 miles of bad road. So I'm the petty one, not Johnny.
Oh no,
and
I
I've
don't even think
earned
that's
that right
petty.
to be petty.
I think it's
I went
justified.
to her page. She's in the FAFO part of her life right now, and I think she's having a hard time coping.
Oh, she is.
She
Thoughts
is.
and tariffs. Thoughts and tariffs.
Yeah.
Thoughts and tariffs. Stop.
Oh
my god, I love that. Oh, I love that. Oh my gosh, can I use that? I'll give you credit. Oh, I want that on a t-shirt. Thoughts and tariffs. That was phenomenal. Oh my gosh.
Well, you know, that's going to be a part of the finding out part. So,
Oh my gosh.
Is she trying to say her name is Baby Mama? Like, I don't understand Baby Mom.
I don't know. She's probably from Oklahoma.
We know that literacy is, they're not that great at it, but.
Alrighty, folks. I'm going to get going. It's almost 3 a.m. on the East
Night
Coast.
goes on.
Hope you folks have a good night, okay? Great seeing you.
Good night, Johnny.
Thank you
Thanks
so
for
much.
having me, Becca. Bye, folks.
Bye.
Bye.
Yay! That was so nice.
Fun.
Oh my god.
That was really fun.
Guys, I feel like a celebrity on my live.
I feel so honored to
are
just
a
sit here and
celebrity.
listen. Yay!
I know. Like,
Thoughts and tariffs to you.
That was